Good, everybody. How's everyone doing out there? I got I got Krish,
Hey, how's it going?
EWTV contact. Yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
it's going. It's going. Yeah,
It's alive.
thanks for coming through. And of course, Tommy. Tommy, always the man.
Weak.
How you doing, bro?
That damn translator again. Hey, man, what's going on, though?
Doing good. Just want to do another live stream because I guess I'm in a suicide kamikaze mode, just doing bullshit live stream over and over again.
Oh, Nancy, V333. How's
Nancy?
it going? Moira?
Nancy been in the chat.
Oh, I see Moira's in the
Nancy
chat.
been in the chat. Moira been in the chat. Parrothead just popped up.
Wookie.
Just popped up.
Parrothead, man. Yeah, I love Wookie too, man.
Oh, Wookie?
Wookie is hilarious.
Wookie's awesome.
How's it going, Wookie?
And Parrothead, man,
Yeah.
Parrothead sends me some of the funniest shit on Twitter.
The twatter?
Yeah, the twatter.
Twatters.
Oh my God! Did you see all that nonsense earlier with twatter? They got my good buddy.
Which specifically?
They
Yeah.
got my good buddy Stieg.
Oh,
So apparently
he called someone a bimbo or something.
yeah, he said bimbo
Oh, my
about somebody,
God.
and they right away said it was racist, and they banned him for what did
Whoa,
they say?
whoa,
They banned him
whoa.
for like a week.
How is bimbo
How is
racist?
bimbo racist?
No, it's whatever, man. It violates their terms apparently because
Bimbo
they're
is
okay. Yeah.
against who though? Stupid
Well,
people.
here's the funny thing. So
Yeah, it's
according-
racist against dumb people.
Yeah. So according to Christy, decided she was going to chime in and she was going to call her a bimbo too. And initially, according to Christy, only got like a 12-hour ban. Then they went back over it and they gave her a full week. So they both got banned for a week.
For
because of Twitter.
bimbo.
Yeah. So I went on there and I found, because I knew that there was a company called Bimbo Bakeries. So I used that. So they couldn't ban me, but I could piss them off with it because they knew what I was hinting at.
So I guess
Yeah.
like at any '80s movie where there was a dumb female character, I guess that would be labeled racist.
Hey,
Oh, who's
Nancy.
medicated? Who's medicated? That's Nancy.
Yeah, it's me.
What's up, Nancy?
Hey, I'm a bimbo, and I find that really offensive that they're against me. So, where do I make my report? Where do I make my bimbo report? For real? A bimbo?
You have to have a march down the middle of the street and like a riot, bimbo riot.
But
You know,
like racist.
bimbos'
like,
lives matter too. Okay. Damn
But
it.
let me tell
That's
you
it.
something. Here's the way I'm looking. Twitter. Twatter. Twatter is doing a hell of a service to all the bimbos out there, and they're stepping up to the plate and they're taking care of business and they're putting these bimboists down, and they're suppressing their voice just so the bimbos can have freedom. I mean, they need an award or something, like I don't know, like a golden double dong award or something. I don't know, but they need it, and they need
Are
it
they-
stat.
Are they trying to say stupid people is a race of its own,
Yes.
and not just the
Apparently.
lack of education or common sense? Like it's a race.
So- It's
I was
like this.
watching-
It's like this. Okay, like so I have an education but I'm a bimbo and like so I identify, even though I have a PhD, I identify as a bimbo.
I was watching Tim Pool earlier, and he was with a guy who was the whistleblower for the social media. His job was to flag people and delete their posts and shadow ban them. And he basically spent a couple of years recording all the stuff they were told to do and all the stuff they were doing. And he was saying that, or they were sort of implying that if social media didn't censor the center right and right wing people, then all you would see is the people on the right, and it would become like it would become that sort of the right wing hellhole they pretend exists. It would become that because there's nobody like nobody the bimbos and the people that they're protecting are too dumb to be able to produce anything without like with they're too dumb to think for themselves, so they allow the talking heads and the people on social media to tell them what to think. And if they were allowed to see what the people on the right were saying, then they would say that because they were just being told what to think.
Well, I mean, Chris, let's be honest. I mean, anybody that's ever sit there and they've gone on Twitter or I'm sorry, Twitter. Got to keep that correct. So anybody that's ever been on Twitter or they've ever been on YouTube or Facebook or any of these other social media platforms, and they've actually seen what some of these people from the left say, 90% of the times they're completely uninformed, they're uneducated, and they always wind up going back to the same exact narrative and preaching the same thing over and over again. 90% of the time, that's always going to be, well, that's racist, or this is racist, or I'm offended.
Yeah.
And it's always the same goddamn talking points over and over again because that's all they have in their barrel. That shit is empty, man. They're going over Niagara Falls in an empty barrel. They don't have anything. And the minute somebody gets in there and they make a point and they actually make a good, intelligent point, they don't know how to counter it, and the best that they can come up with is and
well, they usually come up with something that's so like their logic is so flawed and their information is often so flawed that when they say something to you, you don't know where to come back from. You don't know how to say like, well, where do I start with explaining how wrong you are when I have to explain the very basis for what you're talking about and why you're wrong.
Okay,
well, also don't forget, you got to call everyone a Nazi. Everyone who is not down with the AOCs and Pelosi's of the world, you got to get called a Nazi.
Well, are you guys all for me?
It doesn't matter if you've never voted Republican or not in your life. You're still a Nazi.
Hey, Slasher, Chris, and Nancy, are you guys familiar with the whole coyote thing that was going on Twitter?
That was insanity.
Yeah.
Like, it's a slang term.
Well, that's the purest example of people being uneducated.
What are you talking about? Coyotes, like the coyotes that are running people, or is that a different?
Yes,
okay.
That's what they were talking about. And all these people didn't understand that, and they were sitting there mocking people that were talking about coyotes, saying, "Oh, they're so stupid. They think that coyotes are carrying children across the border." This is how intelligent these people are. So I said in the post, I said, you know what? I said Wile E. Coyote and Acme Company, they need to answer for these crimes because this is ridiculous.
That's the thing. When I was talking, went to my
Where's Sheriff Roadrunner when we need him?
It was the same sort of thing that they were sitting around and talking about these sorts of things, and it was with such glee. They were like, they went like they'd talk about how bad Trump is with such like when you're sitting around with your mates and you're just having a laugh, and you're having a good time, having a few drinks, and you're in that high spirits. They got the same high spirits, but they're talking about how horrible Trump is and how much he's like the bad guy in World War II. Yeah. They moved from that to talking about how they want to chop up people who want to vote for him, and then I'm sitting, but it's done with such glee. It's so insane.
Wookie has a point here. He has a point here.
What did he say? I can read that. Sorry.
Liberal morons.
Oh, frig.
No.
For real. And about the whole bimbo thing too. Seriously. Do you know how hard and how much education it takes to act like a bimbo? Seriously, a lot of the bimbos that I know, being a criminal defense paralegal in Las Vegas, we defended a lot of them. Are the smartest little bitches. Are the smartest bitches that you will ever come across.
What do you mean street smart? You're talking about street smart.
No.
Right?
Slasher. It's not always street smart, and I'm sure.
No, it's just
Nancy
conniving.
Well, Nancy probably understands this. Nancy probably understands this because how many?
It's like a combination, right? Like street smarts plus education of the legal system, especially when you've been through it many, many times.
Well,
Right?
well,
Right.
that's
How to
that's not
play it.
that's not
You know,
always the case, though. I mean, take
no.
for example, all the women who are bimbos who work in the corporate sector, they got there
Oh
because
yeah,
of their
yeah,
looks
that's
and
true.
playing the
Right.
part,
Right.
and they're
That's
bimbos.
Right.
true. Yeah, that's
They're
true.
Point
not
taken.
exactly they're
That's
not
true.
exactly street smart, but they know how to
No.
work with the assets that
But
they
also,
have
that
to be able to get ahead.
Right.
it
Well,
doesn't.
or
It,
give ahead. Either way.
but
Yeah.
you know, it also
Whatever. But
if
you know what?
someone
It's their outcome, whatever their goal is in life. Their outcome, they make it happen. But my point being is, a lot of people don't understand why a lot of women do what women do. And then when other women who go
well,
to college and they think that they're better because maybe that they're uglier than the good looking women, they want to call them a bimbo. You know, they want to stereotype them right away. But a lot of the people that I worked with um, would say, "Oh yeah, I play stupid so I can gain like insider information." Seriously, like on
uh,
yeah.
stocks and stuff. Like she goes, "I made $1.5 million in 6.5 months because all I did was kind of go, oh my god, like really, can I have another tequila?"
uh,
And I'm listening into their conversations on what they're
just
buying.
stand
You
there and
know?
stand there and
Corporate espionage.
stand there and
Yeah.
stand there and twirl your hair with a stupid look on your face, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like that sort of shit.
It's,
Yeah.
Stefan Molyneux, or Molyneux, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, talks a bit about that sort of thing. But he sort of takes it from the perspective of sexual market value. Is that when women are young, they can use their sexual market value. They usually, a lot of them will use it to like just get stuff, and then some of them will use it to get ahead. But the problem is that they get to a certain age, they
Right.
lose a lot of the sexual market value, and a lot of them don't understand why, and think that it's because men are bad.
Well, hey,
Right.
Krish. I mean, you can add on to that when you're talking about the sexual market value that most women feel that they have up until a certain age, or until their body starts sagging and flopping on them, like most people wind up doing. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about people like that, you're talking about people who are in the entertainment business, and I'm talking about, you know,
It's not just the entertainment
I
business.
forget. Well, I forget
It's
the
everywhere.
word for it, but like strippers and everything.
Yeah,
They're
that's
only
everywhere.
good.
But
They're
a
only
lot of
good for
them,
so many years. Not to say
yeah,
that there
but
isn't a
listen,
few old nasty ones doing it too, but not usually.
but a lot of them have a lot of good mentors nowadays that these girls are putting towards their education. They're putting it towards, I mean, they're stripping, yeah, and they're hooking and they're doing porn and stuff, but they're using their money wisely. It's the ones that
Yeah.
don't use their money wisely,
Well,
unfortunately, that
See,
get
the problem is
caught
that
up.
even if they do use their money wisely, that apparently there's been studies that have shown that by going into these industries, that has a long-term effect, that it breaks down your body's ability to produce a hormone that's needed for pair bonding. So
Really?
that years later, when you then try and look for a partner, you can't, for some reason, you can't really click with anyone because your body can't produce that hormone for pair bonding.
well,
And
it's
then
not
when
only
you
that.
eventually do find someone to have kids, you can't really
Wow.
bond with your kids properly. And that's why you have all these parents that have kids that are like accessories.
Well, Krish, I mean, it's a bit of a detachment that they wind up developing because they're sitting there. They've got to detach themselves when they're on stage, especially people in that sexual entertainment industry of stripping and strip teasing and all that stuff. They have to form a detachment, or they're not going to be able to do their jobs. Because if they sit there and look at every guy and they think is like a potential there, they're not going to make the money they have because they got to have an extreme detachment in order to be able to get every last dollar out of those guys that they can because they got to lead them on.
Yeah.
Right.
And
to do it without drugs too.
Here's the problem, Nancy. I actually, I did something years ago, and I had promised myself I'd never do it when I was younger. But I wound up dating a stripper, and I learned firsthand by getting to know most of the people in the few bars that she worked. 90% of them, 90% of them are all hooked on drugs. And they may have started with the idea of only being in there for a little while, but it became a career because it was easy money.
Yeah,
And
because
also
they think, what else
the
am I going to do?
That's
And
the
also,
trap
they've
for a
been
lot of them.
molested. A lot of them had been molested or sexually taken advantage of. I used to house
there's a few of
strippers. I
them.
used to house strippers and the girls that wanted to get out of the business while I was a paralegal, because I'm a big advocate for it too, for molestation and sexual abuse and stuff and what it does to you. So I know firsthand also too, like the trauma behind it. And it's sad. It really is sad. But I didn't know that hormone thing. That
Well,
is like a
Nancy.
major education right now that you just gave me.
Well,
Thank
Nancy, I
you.
mean, there's also like people that wind up they've already got mental disorders when they got into stripping to begin with.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
there was this one stripper that worked at the same bar that this girl I was dating was at, and literally when she wound up she pretty much got thrown out of the stripping industry because she was so like out there. But she was wound up working in like a Denny's or something like that, and she would sit there and talk to the salt and pepper shakers like in between waiting on tables and like trying to marry them and stuff like that. That's how far gone this girl
Oh,
was,
what's her
and
name?
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry
I'm
to
pretty
laugh at.
sure.
I don't think I should have laughed at that.
Well, I'm
sorry.
pretty sure
Yeah.
working in
Yeah.
a place like
But,
that
hey.
didn't help her situation either. So
Yeah, if they're already a little bit like prone to, maybe they've got something in the family to do with like mental health problems, schizophrenia, something like that, throw them into an industry that's all about them as a object,
Yeah, exactly.
full
You're a
of
center.
guys who are slobbering all over them.
You're a centerpiece for a bunch of drunk, horny guys who want to watch you take your clothes off. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yep.
when you talk about the people who run those places, man, you know what? Some
Oh,
of those
please.
guys are the biggest
Oh, yeah.
scumbags. They're the biggest scumbags in the world.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
so many of
I
those
could tell some
places.
stories.
There's so many of those places that I wound up knowing some of the people that worked in there, and like I can't even tell you how many of them are tied into like biker gangs and stuff like that too.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, there's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like this whole dirty underside to all that shit that most people just don't even realize when they go in one of these places. They think, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to throw some dollars at the chicks or whatever, and they just don't even know. They don't even know.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, they really don't. In fact, one of the first cases I worked on with Cristalli and Sajis back in Las Vegas was the Ted Binion case. Who Ted Binion owned the Horseshoe, and he used to frequent the strip club. And he met Sandra at the strip club, and she became his girl. Well, she was accused of murdering him, and it was like a whole big thing. Yeah, it was
Holy
like
shit.
crazy. Yeah, and so she hooked up with the gardener, no lie. And so Ted Binion has like this silver that's supposedly buried in Pahrump, okay, like a massive amount of it. And so they were trying to figure out where it was, and then that's why they killed him. But the attorneys I worked for got her off charges and stuff. So and it was like crazy, and wow. That's all I have to say. It's just
Well,
like,
I mean,
wow, this chick is like so far gone that it's like, I mean, I can talk about it now because it's over, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I have never met anyone so effed up in the head that, was like
well,
terrifying.
it probably made a lot of sense for her to go with a gardener because he was like trimming the field, cutting down the lawn.
Yeah, but he got nailed. He got nailed
like
for conspiracy, and she got off.
fluffing up her flowers, taking care of the bed, all the good
Oh,
stuff.
my God. It was just crazy. It was just crazy. It was like a huge case. But yeah, but he ended up getting nailed. He ended up going to jail and stuff. And yeah, just crazy stuff that I've seen out in Vegas that you guys just wouldn't believe. Man. It's just like,
Hey,
just
Sentinel's
when
in
you
the
think
chat.
you've seen it all.
Oh yeah. Wanted to give a shout out. I was letting everyone finish up their stories.
What's up,
no
Pastor?
problem. No problem. Sentinel, Darth Haster.
Darth
Hail
Haster.
Sentinel.
Darth Haster was like, I didn't know it was a panel tonight. Darth Haster, I always have panels.
This isn't
Everyone's
a panel.
always
This isn't a panel. It's a gathering.
yeah, it's group therapy. It's group therapy.
Gathering around the campfire.
Talk about horrible experiences in your life, like not even just from yourself, but what you've seen around you.
Well, I want everybody to know if you're feeling down, you're feeling sad, and you don't know what to do. I want you to just stare at my picture, look into those soulless eyes, and everything else will just fall away.
Or wear my medicated gas mask that it's for my my herbal inhaler.
Nice.
I saw it at the smoke shop today, and I want it really bad because it's cool, and I can wear it as a mask, and I can freaking smoke and wear it as a mask at the same time, and nobody would know. Walking down the street, I think I need some medication, like a pump,
That I would love to see somebody to grab their cell phone and follow you in as you walk into the big store that has all the crazy people in it, Walmart. Walking into a Walmart, you walk into a Walmart with the face mask with the bong attached to it, and just walk. And anyone says, "Where's your mask?" You're like pointing at the mask.
No, I get one of those little teeny I get one of those little teeny like one-hitter bongs and just like stuff it down my boobs there. Nobody will know.
We have another entrant in here. Hello.
Dum dum dum.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing tonight?
There's my son from different parents. Hello, how are you, honey?
Oh, you said your voice was destroyed.
How is everybody tonight?
That's why you're doing that. All right, I thought you were doing a different voice because your voice was destroyed.
It pretty much is. It pretty much is.
No, I could send you a
hurts.
picture, Darth Haster. I could send you a picture. Just a little context. If I wind up sending you this picture, you got to understand the context of it. So I have a friend of mine, and when we were cleaning out some of my stuff in my dad's house, apparently my dad was getting all these different advertisements and magazines and everything for ED type pills. And I don't know if you've ever been unfortunate enough to actually see some of those things, because they usually have like, oh, well, these will grow you and make you bigger, and they give you like porn star status and all this other bullshit that they were sending my father. So my buddy Mikey, who I've been friends with since I've been like 13, 14, he sees this shit and he's like, oh my God, what the no, man, that's not even natural. So I took one of those pictures and I found the most disgusting, raunchy, biggest one and everything with a girl on the end of it. And I said, hey, we found the big one. So I'm going to have to send you that. And if your voice was destroyed, that's what you would have had to have been doing. I'm a good friend. And I really believe in the art of giving. And I really felt like I was giving to him.
Come on. A problem shared is a problem halved.
I need some psychological trauma. Give me something that'll give me some eldritch nightmares, please.
Well, you know what the funniest thing about it was? Is his wife seen the picture and she said, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm getting ready to send Mikey something. What are you doing? I explained to her what it was, and she seen the picture and she just started bawling. And she's just like, send it.
I love her already. She sounds awesome.
Don't make him start to lose his breath and fall off couches tonight, okay? The poor kid. He's falling off a lot of couches.
He sounded like he was getting strangled to death the other night.
Oh my God, didn't he?
Usually that comes from pulling the tubing, and you're stroking the chicken too hard. But you got to be careful of that stuff, man. It's a sticky situation to wind up getting involved in.
I felt bad. I thought someone had come up behind him in his chair with a fucking thing of piano wire. It was like,
it's like,
this.
I get it. Asphyxiation can be very tricky.
Now, just remember, if they come up from behind you, just make sure that you ask for that reach around. Don't let them go away empty-handed.
Oh my!
And you know what else? You don't go out unsatisfied.
I thought my shows were.
I would just
that's
like to go ahead.
That's what I believe anyway.
I don't know.
But don't go out unsatisfied.
This is not my fault. This is totally not my fault. The guinea pigs gave me my marching orders.
Well, maybe guinea piggies. Let's see
the
eldritch abomination that you call man sausage.
Eldritch abomination.
So, Darth, what happened? Were you yelling at kids all day? Were you yelling at little children to get off your lawn all day? Is that why your voice?
I was doing a voice, and it took everything out of me just to. You know which one? Medicated the whole the clone thing.
What clone? What clone?
The Nigel clone. I don't know if she's there, but yeah, that's the voice that I was doing in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was a Nigel clone, and I was having some fun with and I kind of overdid it.
You went in
With what?
deep. You went in hard.
No, I went really high pitched and squealy, kind of like this.
Oh, do tell there, Doncaster. Exactly how did you do it?
Long and strong.
Megatron? Is that you?
No, blithering idiot.
You know who does a good Skeletor? I don't know if you've run across them yet, but oh god, am I going to blank on his name? Oh man,
Shaney?
Yeah, Shaneology.
You probably are.
Yeah,
he does a good he does a good Skeletor.
I haven't done Skeletor in a long time. I almost forget what he sounds like.
I
could crumble before rumble.
I could do a good Cobra Commander, but by the time I get to the second sentence, my voice starts to.
Can't handle it. Voice gives out at the last minute.
I don't know how that guy was able to pull it off, but he did it.
You got to do that. You do this kind of stuff. You got to keep them pipes well lubricated.
Yeah.
The water, whatever.
Yeah, we know how you're keeping it lubricated.
I'll tell you, it's a fuck ton of Mountain Dew.
Damn, he just zinged you.
Just pour a fuck ton of Mountain Dew on it, hey?
God, I've always hated the taste of Mountain Dew. The only time I ever saw, or I ever saw any of their flavors that I was remotely interested in, and one was okay and the other one was shit, was when they actually had a World of Warcraft special cans and flavors.
Do you know what Mountain Dew?
Like, it was this kind of green drink.
You're not supposed to drink it straight. It's Mountain Dew was designed to be a mixer to mix with moonshine. That's why they called it Mountain Dew.
Really?
Mountain Dew is a nickname for moonshine. It's something. It's supposed to be. It was designed to be a mixer.
He's not wrong.
So if you don't like it, try
the whole
throw
moonshine
some
part.
bourbon
I
and
don't
see
know
how it
about
goes.
Well, it's just like ginger ale. Ginger ale was famous for being a mixer especially if you mixed it with Seagram's. 7-Up was another one. 7-Up.
7 and 7.
Yeah, 7 with Seagram's. Yeah.
The 7-Up. Who the fuck? What the fuck was the last time I saw a 7-Up in a store anywhere?
Nah, Wookiee's drinking that green shit right now. Hey, speaking of green shit, here I got one for you. A Slasher. You might remember this, and I'm not sure if the rest of you do. You might. Do you remember when High C came out with a special edition and flavor for Ghostbusters, and they called it the Ecto Cooler? Yeah.
Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, what green shit was Wookiee drinking? Mountain Dew?
I think that's.
Can someone answer my question, please? Can someone answer my question?
The green one is Surge.
Is 7-Up still on the market?
Yes.
It is in Australia.
It is.
You can get it in Australia pretty easy.
I think I still have it on the shelf. It's on the shelves
I
here.
have not seen that shit.
I could have sworn I saw it on the shelves when I went over to the pharmacy.
Hey, Slasher. You know what else is still on the shelves? RC Cola.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I
see it down in Florida.
I saw a 6-pack of Tab the other day.
Yeah, Tab. Yeah.
Get the heck out.
How about Mellow Yellow? Mellow Yellow still around.
Remember Jolt?
Yes.
Jolt.
You know what else they keep coming back out with?
You gotta buy that on Amazon. You gotta buy that on Amazon anymore.
they bring it back as like a limited edition. They only sell it for a short amount of time, but they bring back that Pepsi Crystal every once in a while.
Are you like why? That shit was a
Yeah,
failure
I think it's like-
within like, but that shit
I
failed
think it's like
within
every
like less than a year.
I think it's like every 10 years or something they bring out Pepsi Crystal or something shit. Or
They have an anniversary of the failure that was that shit.
It's because
Then maybe you've all forgotten that we can read.
They have it. It's all the same.
Say it as storage.
You're
You've got to
saying
do
it's all
something
the
with
same
it.
shit. Nancy, you're saying it's every
just
10
like
years.
the
they're like-
Twinkies, you know. It's just like the Twinkies. They'll never go away.
You know what? You know what pissed me off, Nancy? This is the
Huh.
one that pissed me off. Now, when I grew up, they used to have some of the Wonder Bread affiliated stores called the Interstate Bakeries, and the Interstate Bakeries would sell like all the Hostess like products like Wonder Bread and all that stuff. They would sell it at a discount because that's where they were actually making it to distribute it to the areas surrounding them. So we would go there, and one of the things I used to love as a kid is I used to love to get the Chocodiles, which is nothing but a Twinkie, but with chocolate
covered in
coating on it.
chocolate.
I remember those.
Man,
I-
they
those
were
are
gone.
fucking awesome.
They
Oh,
were gone
God.
for, what was it, like over 25, 30 years, and then they brought them back, but they didn't call them, they brought them back and they called them Chocodile at first, but they took the alligator off the cover. And then they turned around and they came back and they changed it again, and they no longer call them Chocodiles, and they just call them chocolate-covered Twinkies. Like, they took everything away that I liked
Yeah.
I thought
about
they
it when I was
called
a
them
kid.
Chocodillies at one point. Not that they put Adillies, the IES on the end of it, and took off the crocodile.
Well, they might have, but I mean, I always remembered it as crocodile. When they first came back, they had the
Yes, me too.
crocodile, and they had the crocodile on it, but then they changed it a couple times, and the last time they completely took the crocodile name completely off of it. And I was like, yeah. bleh. And it
It's
didn't even
like-
taste the same. Like, it didn't taste like the
formula
chocolate
must have
tasted
changed.
off.
Yeah, they
like
can't.
I was thinking maybe they're
Yeah.
offensive to reptiles or something.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, exactly. You know, exactly. The
when they-
crocodiles, they got together and said, "Hey, we
for
don't
some
dig that."
reason, for
Yeah,
some
this is
reason,
this
they,
is a this
for
is
some reason they
reptilian
turn.
appropriation.
Remember when for some reason they turned Nestle's Quick into Nesquik? It's like, why did you
Yes.
bother doing that? Why not just call it? Why not just keep the
Because they
fucking
took
name?
the real cocoa out and added an artificial flavoring, so they could not call it the original name because they took
It was
the
just called
original
Quick,
ingredient.
though. It was just called
Yeah.
Quick.
You can't drink
Yeah.
it slow if it's quick. Go. Yeah.
Well,
I
you
remember
know,
that.
here's another thing too. I mean, a lot of people don't realize what a lot of these different companies, when they do, you know, they do products and they do lines. And one of the ones that I noticed it a lot, obviously, because I'm a huge Transformers fan. So with certain names that they use for certain characters, you know, if they don't keep up with those names and if they don't use them year after year, they can actually lose the rights to those names, no matter how long they were using it previously.
All across the board. All across the board they did that. There was a lot with GI Joe too, where they lost the rights to names. I know what you're talking about.
It's in some kind of a stipulation of some sort that when you like do the rights, like it's almost like a domain service.
You
You know,
have
if
to.
you don't
You have to
Yeah.
keep filing for the trademark.
yeah, or
You
something.
can't just let it die. You have to keep filing for the trademark.
Freaking Wookie. I like zebra cakes
Yeah.
because I'm a racist. You know what? I
Those
really,
zebra
I
cakes
never,
are. Zebra
I never
cakes
used
are
to
awesome.
eat them. I never used to
Hang
eat
on, hang
them. I never used to eat them until I was watching Swamp People, and the one guy, oh God, I'm gonna blank on his name, ain't I?
Those zebra cakes are fucking
He
dope.
he had a dog named Tyler, and that's what he used to give his dog Tyler. He would always give his dog Tyler a zebra cake when he was on the boat when he was outside catching gators.
Shit,
I
if
was
I was a
thinking-
dog, I wish I could get fed zebra cakes. I'd fucking be living the life.
I was thinking, if he's a racist, does that mean that he is like prejudiced against Reese's Pieces?
Against Reese's, anything Reese's. No peanut butter cups. Get those shits
No
out of
peanut-
here.
You know,
Yeah.
my
Anything
brother,
Reese's.
my brother hated hearing about Reese's Pieces, and the reason why is because when he was going to be born, my parents were kicking around names, and the first name that they chose, my mom wanted to call him Jerry, so it'd be Tom and Jerry. Like, no, that's not gonna work for me. And I said, and it was right around the time that ET had come out. So I said, well, why don't we just call him Eric Tyler? No middle name, so his initials would be ET. and because of that, he couldn't stand hearing about Reese's Pieces because I used to always bust his balls about that shit.
Oh,
I probably would have killed my parents. No joke. Name me something. Just messed up. Fucking ate up.
Although, like, you know your kids are going to be fights, so naming them Tom and Jerry kind of works.
Name them Cain and Abel. There you go. Yeah, twins. Twins. These are our twins. Two little boys.
And
See
then
what
we
happens.
voluntarily chose to name one Cain, and we chose to name one Abel, just to see what would happen. Yeah.
I would just name them Pain and Panic. These are my twins, Pain and Panic. Run. You're evil little bastards. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Yeah, the funny thing is the age gap between me and my brother. The age gap was almost the same between him and my first daughter, because there was an 11-year age gap between us.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, I could tell you what I had to do because there was such a huge gap. I was the one changing his diapers 90% of the time because my mom and dad would always get pissed on. He wouldn't piss on me. I used to mess with. Well, I used to listen to a lot of different music, and I used to play Quiet Riot. Come on, feel the noise, just to make him cry. He hated that song. So whenever he was,
I bet you he felt. I bet you he felt
I
the
was
noise,
about
didn't
to say that. He was obviously feeling the noise if you're blasting in his ear. Were you like putting Walkman headphones on him?
No. We had one of those little portable record players, the little portables that play like 45s and 33s, and I had the 45 to come on, feel the noise, and I would just pop that on when he was being bad and just play it.
Oh, shit. That's
Time to torture the baby.
I had banger.
Could that be considered a form of child abuse?
Probably today, yes.
Of bang your head, mental health.
Yeah, but not giving a child what they want.
Imagine putting headphones.
Yeah, I think that was on the other side of the 45.
Imagine having a little baby infant, and then you put headphones on them and play something like Cannibal Corpse. I
used to lay the speakers on my belly and play Pink Floyd when I was pregnant.
That's Pink Floyd. I'm talking about like straight up death metal type.
Yeah, you gotta play some like Slayer.
There were a few metalheads I knew growing up that, their kids basically grew up listening to metal from, as young as from the day they were born, if not earlier.
Now, if you want to mess a baby up when they're still in the womb, what you do is you get a copy of Venom, Buried Alive, and just play that on repeat.
I'm sorry, that was over my head.
It's obviously it's a song about somebody being buried alive. It's an old death
the band is Venom. The band.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that up. I love music, and I always listen. I always am in the game for new music or
Nancy,
something I've heard before.
Nancy, do you want to hear something funny?
All
right, you might want to write this one down. It was a metal band out of the '80s, and they were called
by the way,
Extra
Tom,
Hot Sauce. Go ahead.
Tommy, sorry, 1 second. Parrothead.
Oh my God.
I don't have that Twitter anymore. If you send me anything on that Twitter, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, you gotta send it to Captain Blinky.
No, that's not the whole name of it.
Well,
you want to know what the whole name of it is?
Just puts it in there.
Parrothead. It's called Captain Blinky's Magical Ocean Voyage. There you go. I'm trying to sound nice and friendly now.
Okay, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Nancy. So
And
the
yeah,
one is called
the same thing. Wait, well, sorry, Tommy. Sorry again, Tommy. Darth
There
Haster.
you go. What's up,
Darth
Brody?
Haster. Yeah, that's my new thing on Twitter.
all right, Nancy.
Nancy, Christian, Tommy, no. So
It's called
Yeah.
Extra Hot Sauce. It's called Extra Hot Sauce, and the album is the Taco of Doom. And the song that you want is
Oh my god.
oh god, I'm trying to remember the name of the song. It's called AIDS, I think it's called. It's you want to talk about a funny, screwed up song? You got to hear that because he's talking about, oh baby, you were so good last night. I ain't had sex like that in years. You did what? You gave me what? You stupid bitch! You gave me AIDS. Yeah, it's ridiculously funny.
Hold on.
I found that one in
Right
accident. I used to go to like the little record stores that used to sell like the the used records for like like $3 to $5, and I just saw that and I started laughing at the cover and I decided to get it, and oh my god, I played that one song nonstop. It was so hilarious.
what was the name of the band again?
Extra Hot
Extra
Sauce.
Hot Sauce, and the song is Taco of Death.
The Taco of Death is the name of the album. The song itself, I think, is called AIDS.
Is like Taco of Death. Is that just like a taco that goes through you really, really fast?
That's the one that's burning on the way out.
So you
Doesn't
think it was
sound-
bad on the way in?
Doesn't sound.
No, that's
doesn't
no,
sound-
no,
doesn't-
no. That's the one that actually it doesn't scratch all the way out. It rips your intestines
It doesn't.
all the way
It
down.
doesn't sound edible. It sounds like a horrible taco.
Well,
I don't want to go to that taco place.
here's the funny thing that record
It's made with glass. That's why.
that record is still sitting in that house over there. I know it is. So I'm going to wind up getting it back. When I dig it out, I'm going to have to take a picture and I'm going to send it to you because the cover is ridiculous.
Well, those tacos are not made with love. That's all I have to say.
Made with fire and brimstone.
And malice.
No, they're made with blood, sweat, and beer. Lots of malice.
I bet you didn't think it was going this route when you started this stream, did you, Slasher?
I don't know what the fuck is going on. You kidding? I don't care anymore.
This thing went more tits up than mod streams went.
Fuck it.
Hey
I'll do
man, I've been on
kamikaze.
streams that have gone a lot worse than this.
I don't care about a kamikaze stream anymore. Whatever. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry if I culturally appropriated the kamikaze term. Whoops. Sorry.
Oh, nice call.
Just call it an homage. But then you get done for like culturally appropriating the French. Or is it Italian?
Slasher, you disrespect family.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, dude.
You will bring nothing but dishonor.
No, I'm not in I don't have a Discord, Parrothead.
I'll tell you what, I've got multiple Discords, and I don't know what it is about Discord. I just don't like the way it's set up.
Well, I don't need to do anything anymore. Twitter and YouTube is fine by me. I'm good. Sorry.
Well, I
Yeah.
have a few people that I talk with every now and then, like Jens Petter. Usually whenever he does anything, he doesn't try to do it through StreamYard because I don't think he can, or maybe he's got OBS. I forget what system he uses to actually stream with. But when he sends me the link, he's always got to do it through his Discord, and I've got to go through his Discord to get on his channel to talk with him. So that was one of the reasons why I wound up starting a Discord to begin with, just so for certain people who didn't have Twitter or they didn't have any of the other services.
Even an email is fine, you know? Fucking, if anyone still actually uses Google Hangouts, I'll fucking send things through Google Hangouts.
I do.
No problem.
Anybody still use Skype?
I never ever actually used Skype. So.
Yeah, I've never used it either. I've always been told to put it on my phone, and I just didn't want to.
Anyone else? Dar? Nancy?
Nah. Yes, I use XSplit Broadcaster to broadcast gameplay. and I can run Skype through that to have people on. But then nobody uses Skype, so I don't know why they haven't a Skype attachment for it when there's nobody uses Skype.
I just use StreamYard on my phone, and it all of a sudden it seems to be working like pretty good, actually.
Well, you know, the one thing I hate about StreamYard on the phone, and this is the problem I actually have right now. Like, I came down here, I'm in the basement. I always got to be in a basement or garage when I'm doing something, so I don't wake people up. But I had a full charge on my phone, and we've been talking 45 minutes, and I'm already down to under 60% already.
Oh,
Like
Nancy.
Yeah.
Nancy,
Yeah.
crap. Sure. Hope she comes back.
But yeah, I mean, it eats up the batteries, and it heats the phone up so bad through StreamYards.
Yeah. It turns into a frying pan. Every time
Yeah.
I use StreamYard on a phone, it's like a fucking frying pan.
Do you mind if I ask what phones you're using?
I got an iPhone 8s or Plus or what is it? Whatever the big one is, I forget.
Well, now I'm using a laptop. That's how I'm running this. But when I was using a Samsung.
Okay. I was using a Samsung, was it the Galaxy Note 8? And I wasn't having any problems. It chewed through the power a little bit, but I've got an external battery backup thing that I can use to plug it in. I didn't find it was heating up very much.
Well, Chris, the problem I have with my phone, if I don't put the headphones in and use the headphones in the speaker, I get a lot of static just off the regular, the phone speaker and the phone mic.
Yeah.
So the problem with that is if I have the headphones plugged in, that same port is where you charge it.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. I've got a separate earphone port and charging port, so I can have it charging at the same time. It also has the convection charging, so I can put it on a plate and a convection charging plate and charge it that way as well. Assuming I want it plugged into a computer or plugged into another device. You can put it on a convection charging plate, then plug a USB-C hub into the bottom of it, and plug a keyboard and mouse into it.
Nancy, yeah, I've actually accidentally done that before. She said she accidentally hit the wrong button and zapped herself out.
Yeah, it's easy to do that on the phone version.
Well, you know how I've done it 90% of the time when it does happen is I keep getting all these stupid drop downs for freaking Twitter, and I go to swipe them up, and when I go to swipe them up, I actually hit the exit.
Back.
Yeah,
Nancy, you're always welcome to come back. In fact, I'll do this very easily, so you don't have to scroll up.
I don't know. Probably can, Parrothead. I mean, I know this thing's Bluetooth enabled. I just didn't, for all this time, I've never really had that kind of money to spend on Bluetooth. So
I've got a Bluetooth headset that I tried to hook in just now to my laptop, and for some reason, I just could not get it to work with StreamYards. So yeah, just because you go and buy a wireless thing doesn't mean that the other side's going to connect in properly.
Well, the problem you also have there is that if you're going wireless, you're using some of your extra, you're using extra data to connect to the phone, and if your internet is not that good, or if there's anything that can interfere with it, it's just gonna not gonna work as well.
Yeah. We're finding the quality of the audio is just
Nancy, have a good night.
Not nearly as good as if you're going over the
Thank
wire.
you for coming through.
Take care, Nancy.
Nancy's always
Nancy.
Very, very chill woman to talk to. Always appreciate talking to her. Always been a good experience.
Yeah.
And holy shit, that was already 49 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We're burning through the time.
I'm plowing right through it. Kind of like the taco of doom through my butt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of that taco of doom. It sounds
I don't
like it
know.
would
Maybe
be
it's just it could just be a really, really big taco.
It'll-
They're like
Yeah,
it's
but
so
what
big
if,
it has its own gravity.
but what's going to be the
Either that or
consequences?
either that or it'll
Damn the consequences, man.
Are you going to need like? Are you going to have like cardiac arrest? Are you
a,
going to have 5 days worth of diarrhea? Are you going to actually just die?
a bleeding prolapse.
Well, let's
A,
put it
ble-
this
a
way.
bleeding,
Yep.
ulcerating prolapse anus.
Hey, you know what? It's
That's where I was going to go
like
with it.
it's kind of like what JJ would say. It's a lottery. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well, either way, death. Like, it's
Yeah, you
not,
spin the taco wheel and see
Yeah.
what it lands on.
yeah.
And out of all the options that it could land on, you're praying for death.
It's a beautiful thing. God, and, you know,
I mean-
Parrot Head. I hate Walmart to the bitter ends of my soul. I hate that place.
I've had some bad Mexican food experiences, and I've had some bad Chinese food experiences.
Yeah,
So you could also have like a wonton of death. You
one
could,
ton of death.
you could eat some wrong fantail shrimp of death. It's always a
1 ton of terror.
I'll tell you, you're talking about like Chinese food. You know, one of the things that I can't stand about most Chinese places is the fact that they cannot cook duck for shit.
Yeah, it ends up being like this gristly, tough, barely edible.
And
I
it's
never-
got that nasty aftertaste.
Yeah.
There was a
There's
time
one
where
place.
I was working in Chinatown, doing a job in Chinatown, and they had in the window they had all the skinned ducks. That shit was weird.
Yeah, there's one place I used to go to. What was it called? I can't remember what the name of the place was called, but it was a really good Chinese restaurant because they had a thing called the Ambassador Steamed Duck, and it was like a seafood broth with big bits of duck sitting in it.
Ugh.
It was pretty good because the seafood broth was really quite nice, and the steamed duck was didn't have that aftertaste, and it was like not overcooked but not undercooked, and then because it's hard to get poultry cooked in that perfect window where it's not sort of overcooked and dry and tough, and it's not undercooked and too sloppy and gross.
Hey, Stony One, what's going on? Hey, Chris,
I love
here
that
you.
only one.
Hey, Chris, you want to hear something
How you doing,
absolutely
Stony One?
hilarious? The
Yeah.
the one place that I actually had duck that was cooked perfectly, and it wasn't in a regular Chinese restaurant or nothing like that. And Kevin Smith had actually used it as a backdrop in one of his movies, and I always fail to remember which movie he used it. And I can't remember if it was Mallrats. I think it was Mallrats, but he used US 1 indoor flea market in New Brunswick. We used to go there when I was younger all the damn time, and because they used to get guys that used to come from Japan, and they literally brought like some of the old what was micro change before they become Transformers, and like the old Voltrons. Like I'm talking about the ones that made that like 2 foot or 3 foot tall freaking Voltron figure when all the die-cast lines went together. But there was this one little shop on the side. It was like they sold Chinese food, and they made duck perfectly. And I've been to really nice Chinese restaurants, like really nice fancy sit down ones, man, and their duck was just shit.
Yeah, most of the places I've gone to, the duck is absolute shit.
I've never had duck. I'd like to try duck.
Like well done, like duck that's done really well. I really like nicely cooked duck, but it's rare that I've ever found anywhere that's actually had it done well.
Dark, you're bouncing?
Yeah, I've got to
Sorry?
go. I promised Jedi Bill I'd be
Yeah,
on
no
his
problem,
stream
man.
tonight.
Hey, Darth, take care, man.
Yo,
Catch you later, dude.
All right.
Thanks for coming through, man.
Everybody take care.
You too.
Well, thanks for having me on
Catch you
for
later.
what little time.
Yeah,
I
of
could.
course. Always welcome.
Catch you later, dude.
Anyone that
Yeah.
had rabbit, I've had rabbit like once or twice in my life.
I went
Yeah,
to an
once or
Indian
twice.
restaurant.
It's not
Yeah, I
bad.
went to an Indian restaurant and they cooked it really good. They also had, traditional like cooked lamb and everything. Yeah.
Nice. The best
Oh,
place
what
that
was
I
that like though? Like lamb? Like
It's
cow?
very
Lamb.
it's very tender. I mean, it's good.
No, I mean,
I mean,
I've had it in like like a gyro. You order a
Well, you have
gyro
it.
from your corner store. They have it's like
So like lamb is not like something you guys eat very often.
uh other than ordering a gyro from my corner store, I've never had. It's not like I've had crown rack of lamb. You know.
Because like, I mean, because in Australia, lamb and beef are basically like you have equal amounts, equally available, and is equally common to eat. The only time there's like you're not going to see lamb is if you're going to like McDonald's or something like that.
Hello again, Moira. You're
Meow.
always welcome to come up.
per
Or like a restaurant that is not traditionally part of their food. Otherwise, it's like you're gonna cook your own dinner, a lamb chops and like mash and peas and gravy or something. Very common.
yeah, like I
Shepherd's
remember.
pie is awesome too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to
and,
say, like, I remember when I was younger, and this is when I was real young. I remember when they used to talk about veal, and I remember always hearing that veal was lamb, and then later on, you're talking about when they talk about veal over here in the United States, they're talking about baby cow, and I was like, okay. So I mean, when I had it when I was a kid, it definitely tasted a lot different than what I remember eating later on in life when it was just baby cow, but.
veal
I don't
is
know.
every time I've had veal, that shit repeats on me. I don't like the feeling after eating veal. I don't like the feeling in my stomach after I eat it.
Woof. Per. Yeah, I mean,
veal compared to actual cow. Yeah, give me the cow.
Yeah, I don't know. I There's a wild game butcher that's like it's not close, but it's close enough to if I can get a lift up there, I could go up and buy a whole bunch of stuff. And I plan on going up and getting a boar, emu, crocodile, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And some of it I want to make into jerky, and some of it I just want to cook it up and try it
have you ever
because
had
it's been years.
bison?
That's one of the other ones I was going to get. I haven't had bison. I've had a lot of other things when I was a lot younger because my parents were very keen on exposing me to foods that most people would sort of turn their nose up at the time. So, like, if we had any opportunity to go somewhere that served this sort of stuff, we'd sort of be taken there and you'd have a plate of like crocodile or something put in front of you. And you have a choice: you either eat it or you don't have any dinner. And most of the time, you as a kid, you try to eat some of it because you don't want to starve, you want to go hungry. So, yeah. And then as you get older, it's just like, yeah, I'll eat this. This is something different, something new.
Freaking Wookie. He coughed on a hit so hard it made him fart. Gotta be careful with your fur there, Wookie. Be careful with the fur.
Yeah. You don't want like the fur dreads at the back.
Wookie, you can always come in here too. I think I've heard Wookie about once or twice.
Wookie likes to make it special when he pops on.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm not special. Oh,
No, he needs to prepare for it.
okay.
Then
He
again,
needs
Just
to
to
get
center
amped.
himself.
He needs to get amped up and hit the gym and shit.
Gotta run a campaign. You know, you gotta save that Wookiee.
and have like a Rocky training montage type shit. Okay, I got it. I
Or you
guess
could just
sometimes
mainline espresso.
maybe sometimes I should do that. I should start running on the beach before I live stream.
Hey, what's up, Random Brad?
Very random.
What's up, Brandon Brad? How you doing? Running a bullshit stream.
Cheers.
Yep.
I heard the puppet's coming along well.
Preparation involved with the Wookiee, most certainly. I know. Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
He's not a wild Wookiee. He's a refined Wookiee.
Yeah, Wookiee's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he's refined.
God, I don't even know how long I've known Wookiee now. It's got to be at least a year, at least.
I don't know how long I've known anybody. So
Awesome. Awesome. No
Some-
random.
some-
Sorry, my response to random. Sorry.
some days blur into others. So.
But yeah, no, they do. One day blurs into the next, and one stream blurs into the next, and you're sort of sitting there chatting to someone, going like, "Oh yeah, I'm telling you about a stream that you were on."
Oh God! Oh, you had to remind me of that again. Holy shit! You reminded me that this is like the third or fourth time you reminded me of that. That's. Oh God! I wonder if that guy still goes around. I'm wondering if that guy still actually goes around. I can't even remember. His name was John. I think it might have just been
Big John or something? Was it Big John or something?
Jesus, has it been that long, Wookiee? God, it doesn't seem like that long ago. Then you know what? Then again, you know what? I know I was involved with YouTube when my mother passed away, and that was 2 years ago almost. So yeah, I guess maybe a lot longer than I thought. God, you know what? I mean, quite honestly, it doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't seem like that long. You know.
First of all, I don't know how I met a bunch of people whose whole thing was complaining about Disney Star Wars. I have no idea how I met all of those people.
Oh, I could tell you how much I hate Disney, but it's not just Star Wars. I just hate Disney.
I'm just talking about how I'm just talking about how I met the crew. Well, some of the crew whose whole thing was hate Disney Star Wars.
I got my guinea pig paws in a whole bunch of different groups, and some of them, their whole thing was nothing but like tearing apart Disney Star Wars.
Most of I was sort of lurking around, watching their stuff because they were sort of saying things that I agreed with, and then I sort of eventually they get to sort of remember your name and shout out to you in the chat all the time, and then you start getting on streams, and then there's other people like Klog and stuff like that. Is that I sort of had an idea of doing a similar thing, went and found other people who were doing it, and sort of said, "Oh, well, they're doing it. I'll watch them instead of doing it myself," and then they sort of encouraged me to do it as well.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know what? I'm not saying that everybody has a voice for it, but some people don't think they have a voice for it. Actually, might surprise themselves that they actually take the time and the energy and the effort to put into it. You know, because it's not for everybody. Quite honestly,
No, it's not. It's not. Even for some people who do it, I know that.
There's some people that I don't even know how they did. I don't know how they have any modicum of success and how they actually do it all, because some of them, some of them are like piss poor.
Well, I'm also just saying, like, anyone who does it, even if no one watches any of their shit, kind of like me. So, but
See, I know people who have really good quality content. They put a lot of time and effort into production, but the stuff they're making is crap and boring. On the other hand, I know people who they were recording on an old mobile phone that's so bad that they can't get even clear footage. So they most of the time just have
I'm a-
dark shadows, and
I'm 100% guilty of that. I've done
but
that. I've done that plenty of
the
times.
quality of the content is what I'm saying. Is the quality of the content is more interesting and more enjoyable to watch than someone who's necessarily put a lot of time and money into making something that's just
Oh, look.
isn't interesting.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
She joined.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Thanks for
And you were right. Your hair is very 90s.
yeah.
80s, late 80s and 90s. The reason being is I colored the roots to be a purplish color, and while it's wet, I don't want it to bleed down into the whitish part of my hair because then it's just going to be periwinkle. And so I have to keep it isolated. And this is just how it ended up, basically. And my daughter's scrunchy, because apparently those are back. Fuck
Well,
me.
nice going, Maury. You just went ahead and you segregated your hair.
No, I didn't segregate my hair. My hair consented to a safe space. So it wants to be
To a safe
here,
space.
and this wants to be here, and it all agreed. That's not the same. Segregation is by force.
Well, that's,
Self-isolating is different.
Actually, you're saying with the
But
segregation,
hello.
the rainbow flag.
Hello,
I say, I don't know why they used.
Wait, one person at a time, because I'm hearing Slasher say my name, and then
No,
him talking about rainbow flag.
thank you for coming through. Thank you
Oh,
for coming through.
Her.
Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you, Hookie. He likes the. Let me move so everybody can see it, because my big ass head in the way. There we go. Okay.
I was just going to say, I don't know why they used the rainbow flag, because they're all about like where all the supposed to be all the different sorts of sexualities and that coming together, but the rainbow flag shows all the different colors segregated. So it's really a flag of segregation.
I think you're overthinking it.
No, they actually started adding colors too. Like they
No,
added
actually, they have different.
More
flags
people
for
they
different
want
things.
segregated.
No. Oh, right. That would be like saying the United States is not the United States because each state has a different flag. Like
No, I mean
yeah.
their
No.
flag. I mean their rainbow flag. They started adding like other colors to it, like brown.
Well, they
and
have the regular rainbow
Yeah.
flag, and then they have other flags that are like pink, pale blue, and white, which is transgender, I believe. There's one that's like 3 shades of like medium, like darker brown, medium brown, light brown for like guys who are considered bears. There is I can't remember the rest of them because there's a lot of spectrum there, and so
There's
everybody,
definitely a
of
lot
course,
of
everybody wants their own
spectrum.
flag.
Definitely on the spectrum there.
Well,
No, just say the people that are with the flags. Definitely on the
they
spectrum.
realized that like because the main rainbow flag is supposed to basically kind of be like the spectrum to cover all the bases. Like the United States has a flag, but each individual state also has a flag.
Yeah, but it shows
But
everyone on the spectrum segregated into separate colors rather than bringing us all together.
So basically you're saying it should just the colors should flow one into another, not have the lines separating the colors.
Well,
like a big blur, like just a little blur.
It should be just like
all
black, because that would be all the colors mixed together. It should just be all black.
Actually, well, technically, depending on how you look at it, if you mix all the colors together, it'd be white. Because with what we
Isn't the white
call
absence
visible
of color?
light, like with our eyes, like sunlight, the regular light we see is called visible light. And in our spectrum, it is like our primary, like our main rainbow colors in general. But outside the spectrum of what our eyes can see of visible light, you have things like infrared, things like that. So actually, technically, one could argue that all the colors together would make a lighter color.
Hey, Chris.
I'm not sure.
Also depends on.
How it works.
Yeah, Chris.
They added brown to it.
Yeah, Chris.
I guess it also
technical.
depends on how the light hits it. How the light hits it also.
Right. Well,
affects
yes.
it.
That's why sometimes, like when
So it's
sun's
not only
rising
the
or setting, it looks like a different color. Is because of like dirt or some kind of color of sand in the ionosphere and the atmosphere in general. And with it being roundish, it kind of bends the light in a way.
Well, hey, Chris.
refracts the light.
Technically, what you're saying is technically true when you're saying it's the absence of color, but it also can wind up being the refraction of colors.
Yes.
So there'd be a difference between like what do they call it when there's like mixing of light as opposed to mixing of pigment? There are two different types of color spectrums you're working with or something. Two similar things. I can't remember.
No.
I remember when I was looking up
They
with
weren't doing it necessarily because that like they're not necessarily going based on that. Although brown would fall under like the yellow and red spectrum part of
Sorry,
the.
that's fucking
I
funny.
knew there was a problem with there's a difference in how things work when you're mixing colors when you're using like lighting and then when mixing colors and mixing paints. And then what you're going to get in the end when you mix paints together, you try the same thing with lights and it works differently. And I caught myself a few times on that when I was trying to look up how to mix different colors to get different results with the lights and getting the wrong thing happening and realizing that I'm looking up stuff to do with how to mix paints, not how to mix lights.
Right.
But it was a while ago and I can't remember the details.
All right, but what is the?
It's okay.
All right.
I'm sure. I think we understand. So you don't like
But
feel
all
like
right,
we have to remember
Wookie.
everything.
Wookie says he knows
Oh,
why they
Lord.
did it, and yes,
Is it
we
Reese's?
all know why they. We all know why they did it, but
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I didn't know I was coming into this. Like, okay.
I didn't either. What the fuck?
Like I come up here and it's like I understand I look left, but like a lot of my politics
It's
is more
midnight
right.
fatality.
Like
It's the
and
midnight
so
fatality.
like
There you
yeah, so I can kind of see both sides. So like when I see this, I'm like, okay, let me try to explain the best that I can because even I don't know everything, obviously.
And
Like,
black
nobody knows
though,
everything. Huh?
But not just the brown and the color black. I've seen their updated flag. I've seen it.
I'm not.
And I've
I'm
seen
not.
that.
That
and there
I
was,
don't. I
there
have to
was
look
the
that
other.
up.
They had their old. There was another one where they all had their little different crests, like they were fucking.
Yeah,
like
they're color schemes, but I didn't see
old
the crest
school
per se.
Irish. Yeah, like old school Irish nickname, like old school Irish last names you would see, like on a map. Like I don't know if anyone's ever seen those type of maps where the majority of different Irish last names would come from, scattered all across Ireland.
I would have to
So
look that up, but I mean I get what you mean, but that
all
seems
the
a little.
all the last names had their different crests.
Well, yeah, I know that. I mean, I have my family crest in a frame up on in my. Well, I mean, so I get that.
Hey,
But
what I'm saying.
hold on a second. I'm gonna have to dip out because my phone is getting really hot. So,
oh
I
no,
got you,
Tommy,
man.
don't leave us.
and it's I can hear it through the headphone. It's starting to crack
I'm
and
sorry,
everything on
man.
me. So, no,
I'm
it's
sorry.
good. I got to hang out for an hour and everything. So, I mean, it was
It's good
good
seeing
seeing
you again.
everybody.
I'm
It
glad
was
you
good
could,
seeing
man.
everybody in the chat. Slasher, thanks for letting me come through. Chris,
Of
always a
course,
pleasure
dude.
talking to you. Darth
course.
Aster was here earlier. Moria hugs. Um, you know, one day I'm going to get back home and I'll be able to do things from my tower again, where I'm going to have a microphone. I'm not going to have an overheating phone, and
And he will be unleashed upon the internet.
That's right. Toes
It'll
shall
be a
be
dark
nibbled.
horse riding, and away, and hell is coming with him.
Damn,
And he's
Skippy.
gonna visit the Wonder Wheel before he goes back to Florida.
Oh,
He
that's
and I were
right.
talking yesterday for a little bit, and like I was telling him how sorry I was. I wasn't able to raise enough money to try to come see y'all because I wanted to be there when he scatters his dad's ashes and come visit you, Abu, maybe Anthony if he's lucky. Maybe I don't know. We gotta find a central point where everybody can just come together and hang out. That would be cool.
I know, right?
Like,
All right,
well,
I got to
oh,
get running.
okay.
So, hey, Wookie, Random Brad, take care of y'all. All right, I'll catch you guys next time. Be well.
Catch you later,
You
dude.
too, man. I was,
But
keep updates
yeah,
on
I
you.
really did
Keep
want to like
updates
go
on
there and
Tommy.
help him with the house, see you. I actually told him like I even had a plan to kind of fuck with you a little bit. Like we would try to pick up some cheap balloons and like thumbtack them or tape them to like your house and tell you to look out, and then like have him send you a message, and so your house would look like the house from Up, but not as many balloons because that's a lot. But since your house looks like that little house in that cartoon, I thought it'd be so cute. You'd come out and you'd find like a little balloon on your doorknob, little like on the little banister and shit, just to be funny. Like if I prank someone, it's gonna be like in a cute way. Like I don't try to do anything like that would be hateful. But I think it's so cute that your house looks like that, and so yeah, I was like, oh, I can't wait to do that. And then like I raised just enough money that I would be able to go up there and have a little bit of food, and I wouldn't have enough to come back. I was like, damn it.
I think you mean it to be cute, but all the balloons blow away except for one red balloon on a ribbon.
Oh my god, it'd be like it. Oh my god. That was cute. I actually did make a red balloon on his doorknob. I actually did when I was describing that. I'm like, I don't go there more. I just don't. And you did. And I was like, oh god, tell me he can't read my mind. What number am I thinking? No, I'm just kidding.
It's like it's a twisted minds think alike.
Sometimes, but to be fair, like he ruined balloons for people. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like when you think balloons, you're like,
So that and the song 99 Red Balloons has pretty much ruined it. Yeah.
huh?
That and the song 99 Red Balloons.
Oh yeah, 99 loose balloons. Yeah, I picture a fuck ton of red balloons just being unleashed, like in the music video. They're just going up. But that's not as bad as like ones coming out from under a bridge. No.
Or just like I said, hanging in a sewer grate, just sitting there.
Yeah, like nope, it can stay there. Like nope.
Yeah.
Care if it's my phone. Like duh. Guess I'll get another phone. Fuck it. I ain't going to shit. You can have it. Nope.
Hanging from
I've seen too many horror movies. Like
hanging from the car door. It's like, yeah, well, just give the keys to somebody.
I was gonna do that to an ex of mine, like, because I'm kind of on friend terms with him. Like we speak occasionally. Like I don't I don't hate him as much as I did. So like we got past that, but like I would never ever date him again. You know what I'm saying? Like those are people like you can be friends with, but you can't date them. Like he's that guy.
Yeah.
But like he said that movie kind of freaked him out, and I'm like, this is like a grown ass man in the Navy. Are you kidding me? Like I got to see this movie now. Like what the fuck? And I saw it. It was actually really good. Like it was nice and creepy, and I can see why. But like apparently it freaked him out because he was like he said he was all feeling edgy and shit when he was like driving home from the theater at night. He was like, and so I was sitting here like, oh my god, I so like if their neighborhood didn't have dogs where like someone would like there would be barking and someone would see me park outside like where he lived, I was gonna like tie a red balloon to his fucking mailbox and just leave and let him just find it. I was going to, but like he lived with his parents, and his parents hated me because like they didn't really understand how like what was going on with the relationship. Like it was some fucked up shit. But they only heard his side, you know what I mean? And so it's like that, and with some people like mama's boy can't do no wrong kind of shit.
Oh
anyway, like I'm
family.
like your parents shouldn't even be involved in this. Like we're adults. Your parents should not be involved in our arguments. And if it is, they should hear both sides if they're gonna hear it. Like for real, seriously. But whatever. Like go home, cry to mommy. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, but we like I said, we're on good terms now. So like that's done. But yeah, I so want to. I knew it freaked him out, so I still wanted to do that. I'm still hoping I can do that to somebody. I know my sister is freaked out by it and Freddy Krueger. And my second ex-husband, I've only been married twice. I know it sounds like there's like a long line of this going on, but like I told him because he had his favorite thing is a Freddy Krueger costume because he's thin and he's tall. So he wears the sweater really well, and he's got like, one of those long, lanky kind of arms. So it really works. That kind of costume really works for him. He's got long, thin, and so yeah, the glove, it just works for him. And so he like started to scratch on something, and like got to where she could see him. And she's like, "Oh, Jesus!" Got up, and she's like, "Fuck you, Nathan! I'm gonna kill you!" It was so fun.
Pranking people is so much fun.
'Cause, you know, I try to be careful. Like I make sure it's not something that's like super triggery or anything. You know, like that. Like nothing.
Oh, yeah,
like if they have a heart
don't give
condition,
it-
I'm not doing it.
Don't give anyone a heart attack.
Yeah. But at the time, she didn't have diabetes, and she was in better condition, and so like it was funny. Like now, you know,
I
especially
mean,
when-
like something that's going to cause like physical serious damage. Like
right. Because things, I believe that something is funny that it can only really be funny if you know everyone can kind of enjoy it and find it fun. Like if it's something that can cause harm, that's not humor, you know.
Yeah, but there's like a prank that me and a friend pulled on someone that may have gone too far, in that we're in a Skype group, and the Skype group is supposed to Skype group.
Oh, Skype. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay,
yeah,
Skype.
And in this Skype group, the guy who started it, he advertises it as like a place for spiritual people to come together and learn from each other. But really, it's just a place for a bunch of spiritual people to find people who are pseudo-spiritual and make fun of them.
That doesn't seem very nice.
Usually they'll come in and ask stupid questions, so they'll get stupid answers.
Well, I mean, it depends if they're purposely asking stupid questions or they legit just really don't know. Like,
well,
I think it would depend.
Let's see. You got to stick with this particular guy. There's been a couple of times where
some people ask stupid questions on purpose. You know, there's.
Well, I mean, if you can,
but it's sort of on purpose.
You do know that
there's
there is those people do exist.
Well, there's like somebody comes to you, they ask you questions, and then as soon as you give them an answer, they cut you off and go, no, that's not how it is, and start telling you their own version of it.
For goodness sake.
You eventually sort of get through to them, and then they will turn around and you'll tell them that they'll have this discussion that they really need to stop going from like one modality and one practice to another. They just need to take a break because they've been doing that for years. So they agree that they need to take a break, and then they come back the next day and say that they've just gone and had a tarot reading done, and their tarot reading's telling them they should need to do this, this, and this now. And you're just sort of like, okay, so you're prime candidate for being made fun of.
Okay, I feel bad. Like I kind of see making fun, but I also feel bad for them being that lost that like they're going to some charlatan with cards to do this. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, he comes to us and
they
asks,
don't understand
this guy's,
the idea of taking a couple of days and taking a break and self-reflecting on this.
This guy is like 19-ish. This guy's
the year 2020. I can't say the last time I've heard the word
charlatan. Yes,
charlatan.
I'm sorry. I'm a little old-fashioned in some of my wordage. I'm sorry.
So long since I've heard that word.
There's so many reasons to call. Like I don't know how that word is going out of style because we still have tarot card readers and we still have Joel Osteen. How did that word go out of style?
You're a scoundrel. That's another old school.
Oh my god, dude! I described someone tonight as a scoundrel. I actually almost did. Like I'm not gonna name names. I'm not even sure. Slasher, I know you know him. I just don't know if Aussie here knows him. But I don't need to be putting names out there. But it's
Don't worry, that's fine.
Yeah. But it's a guy who wears a pirate hat occasionally, and we kind of got into it in an argument, and I called him a cruel and unmerciful man. Because he was judging somebody very harshly that he didn't even know on one incident.
If he's wearing a pirate hat,
well, he doesn't often. He does it once in a while.
Anyone who wears a pirate hat is going to be cruel and unmerciful.
Well, there's a limit, though. I mean, to straight up hateful human being, it's so unnecessary. But I mean, some of this stuff was way out of line. So the person I know, they're facing between a year and 30 years over weed. They didn't hurt anybody. They didn't kidnap somebody. Weed. And he said, I don't need to be hanging out with losers like that. He's like, I don't know why you're letting your daughter be around someone like. I'm like, whoa. Hold yourself. You better reel it back. Hold up. And I was like, first off, I known him for 5 years before he got caught up on this silliness in June. Okay, so he has spent many years being nice to people, being a part of this family, just all around being nice to people. And so for someone to tear someone to shreds over one thing that shouldn't even have been that big of a deal
Mm.
is unmerciful and unnecessary. And to insult my parenting because I like what? So like 5 years ago I was supposed to see into the future and know he was gonna get in trouble last summer. And I try to explain that like, when your friends are in trouble or people that you care about are in trouble, you don't just ditch them at the first sign of a problem, especially
Well,
on something like this. Like, I mean, if
if
he
I
was
could,
a creepo that was like messing with kids, yeah, I could see that. But this is a weed
if I could,
situation.
if I could see into the future, I would have loved to have just gone to the age of 38 at everything that happened. So,
Yeah.
But,
so
but he basically ripped to shreds, man. He doesn't even know. He doesn't know how much he's like contributed to this family. Like, there's times when I've been like just had crippling depression and everything, and he'd take my daughter to go hang out at the park and like or play out in the yard and stuff like that because he's kind of a kid at heart himself. He doesn't know all those things. He's ripped
do
him to
we
shreds
all
because he got caught with weed, and
all
that's
not
just
in a
cruel
way
and
have
unmerciful.
crippling depression? All of us in a way have some sort of
Right.
crippling.
Well, I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying like when I having a hard time being like fun to be around, which is hard for me anyway. I'm just not a fun person necessarily. But like,
That's how
you
you
know,
deal with it. It's just how
right. But
you deal
he
with it.
but he was always there to, play video games with her, stuff like that. Because he likes video games, she does, it works. I'm not a video game person. And so like there's all those good things. So he got in trouble for weed in June. And I guess I'm supposed to have just turned my back and pretend that he hasn't been there for us for 5 years. Oh, okay, first sign of trouble, just okay, just turn your back on them. Don't help them. That's not how you treat people. No, no, you don't do that. You don't abandon people like that over that. I mean,
Well, like I said,
if he had hurt no lady or sexually assaulted somebody or something really immoral, I could see his argument. But weed's
like
not
I said,
immoral.
38 years of being related to someone and they scumbag you.
Right? I know. I can't believe you got douchebag like that. That is hard. That's
So,
not moral. That's immoral.
so that's just my gripe about everything.
Isn't the vast majority of
But it
pirates gay or
happens.
bisexual? No, hey, I I don't know. But he would never admit it if he was. I swear to God. Like, this is not the kind of guy who would admit it if he was. Like, oh no, he would fight with his last breath denying it if he was. Like, this guy is whoredom on 2 feet.
Well,
Like,
also pirates. You know,
he's a
let's.
slutty pirate, dude. Like, he is. Like, I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
saying,
Like,
but I'm saying like pirates in general, like a bunch of dudes on a ship together and
it
running
doesn't
around.
mean it doesn't.
Of
It's
course
the
they're
same.
gonna
If you
be.
worked
Of
in a
course
place
they're
that
gonna
only
be.
had guys, it doesn't mean that y'all are interested in each other.
No, I'm saying they're gonna be lonely while they're sailing, while they're sailing the ocean and stuff.
That's probably why they stopped at ports and hooked up with winches, dude.
Well, who know what state in the ship, you know.
Not my business. Not my business. I hope that one day scuba dive find shipwrecks and treasure. But who they were banging ain't none of my damn business. So yeah, but I would broach that to him because he's a little
Uh,
too rigid and America for like don't ever imply that to him. Holy shit. I can't imagine the shit show.
but if they had like how they used to have back in the day, they used to have the HBO show Hookers at the Point. I don't know if anyone ever remembers this one. They were the
No.
few train. It's a few train stops down from me. It's a few
Love
train
it.
stops down from me called Hunts Point. and it was notorious hooker area.
Lovely.
And HBO actually did a documentary about these women. They
I saw that HBO had done a documentary on the ranch. I forget like what it's called,
oh
but
yeah,
like
the
a ranch.
bunny ranch, the bunny
The
ranch.
Bunny Ranch, yeah, in Nevada. I saw some documentary on that because I thought it was well. I mean, it's documentary, but it like I was like, ooh, there's little extras to that documentary. Oh my! But like I found it interesting just because it's interesting to learn about other people's lifestyles and the way they do things. So I thought that was interesting.
Hookers at the Point was a very in-depth
That
look
sounds
to them.
gritty as fuck.
And all right, yeah, there was another thing. I didn't go to school in this area of Hunts Point, and they took diner footage of right outside the high school I went to, which was train stops down from Hunts Point, and they used that as like the footage of while they were talking to the actual hookers in a diner, and this place sued them for doing that. They were like,
Well,
"You make it
why
look
were
like."
they like out of their neighborhood just to talk? Like that seems unless they were worried about like people in their neighborhood seeing them talking.
Yes, that's exactly what. No,
Okay.
they were worried that a bunch of fucking. They were worried about a bunch of Hunts Point hookers being in their fucking in their diner, and a bunch of high school kids being across the street. And hey, because when we went to high school, they'd let everyone out. Like, no one wanted to eat the cafeteria food, so they'd let us out lunch period.
Oh
and we'd
yeah,
go
you
get
know what
food.
about they're like 16-year-olds walking behind hookers and they're being interviewed. That's not a good.
Yeah,
That's bad optics right there. That's bad optics.
going to the diner across the street from the high school, and yeah, we're eating off the same plates as the Sex Point hookers.
I just see, like, you've got the camera angle of the hooker being interviewed, and like, the 16-year-old kid walking behind it. Then it cuts to the interviewer and the camera person, like, they're switching around that angle, and there's a school in the background.
Yeah,
Like they couldn't find like a Walmart parking lot or something to where they could have an interview. They had to do it in front of a school.
no. This was the trick they did. They did it like a fucking Seinfeld episode. They did it like, how Seinfeld, when they're in the fucking diner and they show the outside and then they're inside in the studio. But they did it this way. They showed the outside of a diner that was nowhere near Hunts Point.
Oh my goodness, that's I don't even I don't even know what to say to that.
The inside footage of the place was a totally different diner.
Oh,
That's why they got pissed off, and that's why.
I can understand there being a little bit of an issue because I wouldn't necessarily want business associated with that, and even if I did, I would like them to at least ask.
Exactly.
Like at least ask
Yeah.
me if it's okay to use my diner or establishment for this type of a documentary. Like, yeah. So I can understand them being annoyed by that because that could give them a bad look. Because people might start thinking like hookers are hanging out in front of their diner and shit,
It'll attract more customers, not the customers.
The wrong kind of customers.
Yeah.
You know what? There's so many different fucking horrible options available because
that's not. That just makes me sadder. Actually,
the high school kids are going to be sharing.
Terrible. I'm gonna go get my cigarettes. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's many different better places they could have used other than directly across the road from a school. It could have been like a diner in the inner city with other businesses around it.
As a fake outside, what was really
as a fake outside. Yeah.
Like
they could have used the outside of a diner somewhere anywhere else.
Why couldn't they just show the outside of the diner where they actually interviewed the hooker?
Yeah. Because in order to get access to being inside the premise, they probably had to promise not to show the footage of the outside.
Who knows? Probably something like that.
I'd guess.
But either way,
that's why you gotta just do it the old-fashioned way. If you want to interview someone, just have pickles, like something like it looks kind of like a hotel lobby or some kind of nice clean background where it's just like some neat furniture, plain wall, and just interviewed that way, so they don't know where they're actually at.
But those HBO documentaries, some of those were really good. Some of them were really fucked up.
I have not watched any HBO documentaries in such a long time. But if you are curious about some seedy documentaries, like that would be, I imagine, the place to go for that.
Yeah.
Because
Sure,
I do
that
find
is.
different things interesting.
There was.
I mean, I imagine to be a hooker, you've got to be very sociable. Like, I mean, I would. Like,
Yeah, you can't be a
like,
grumpy
like
hooker.
if you're a hooker, like I imagine you can get a customer service job literally anywhere because you can tolerate just about anyone at any time. That
No, but
you've
I'm
got
saying,
you've got.
Yeah,
Like I'm not
It's
even
but
trying to
like
be an asshole or make fun, really, but like you, man, I wouldn't have the
the
patience
way
for it.
a
I'd
prostitute
be like, get
relates
the
to
fuck out,
John,
you know?
and the way a customer service person relates, like, could you imagine customer service people relating to their customers the way a prostitute relates to the John?
Well,
Like,
I
yeah,
mean, I don't know. I mean, there's
like
probably
she
times
she
when the
comes
hooker
up
has
and
problems
leans
with
onto the.
hold.
No, not
I
necessarily
think,
though. Like a
yeah,
hooker
like
can
you
have a
can see
problem with.
she comes up and sits on the table and like asks them for their order and like keeps playing with like the guy's tie and
I think that might be too much, but what I meant was like, there's a good chance. Okay, Bob, get out of the fucking box. Get it off the light off. Quick. I heard that box. I'm gonna tape that box shut. Anyway, but no, but like I'm sure that a lot of times there's probably a problem with hookers with their johns and stuff. And if they can deal with that, they could probably deal in normal customer service, probably. Except for the part where you tell someone they can go fuck themselves. That's
Well,
probably frowned upon at Sears.
what I was
But
trying to say is, if you're gonna be a grumpy hooker, you're not gonna make a dime.
a grumpy hooker. Well, I mean, I assume they're just like anybody else. They're gonna have good days and bad days, good customers and bad customers. I assume. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure it's just like anything else in that regard. And
most of the hookers I've known have been like pretty fucking crazy. Like
fair enough.
they,
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh
I
man,
don't have a rebuttal for that. I don't.
my friend
You're like the
used to.
hookers I've known. I'm like,
You know what? I'm not gonna say it. I never.
what am I
used-
hearing?
I can't say I ever paid for the services, but my friend would drive them around.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. The heater was making a weird noise, and I was trying to figure out what I was hearing. Sorry. But I like.
My friend
Well,
and
I
his
mean-
girlfriend used to. My friend and his girlfriend used to drive hookers around. They were working for some.
I can't hear you.
My friend and his girlfriend. They were working for some she pimp, and they were driving escorts around.
Well, I mean, they need a ride.
Those were the hookers that I ended up meeting because they would hang out with these hookers, like not on the job at their house.
Well, I mean, people, like I said, they're
Yeah.
people like anyone else, so they have friends, social circles, places to go, things to do in their off time. Like, like I'm very liberal about certain things. Like, as long as people are consenting and not hurting anyone, I try not to really judge folks. You know?
Yeah.
So this was really bad though, because
As long as they're informed.
I'm
I
sorry.
actually went.
I was just saying, as
I
long as
went
they're
on-
informed as well. Like if you're going to choose to say smoke, you should know what you're putting into your body and what you're doing.
Right.
And if you choose to get a job in the sex industry, you should know what it's doing to like your ability to pair bond and stuff like that as well.
That actually, all right, that is a good point. That probably could have an issue with your pair bonding with another person. So
And
yeah,
there's done
that's
tests
true.
that shows that it stops your brain from being able to
Right,
produce
yes,
dopamine.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
cause it.
there's been pornography studies that show that it can cause problems with pair bonding and giving people unrealistic expectations of certain things. And so I
Yeah.
imagine that what you're saying is also probably true. So yeah, I think like I'm not sure like what solution there is, except maybe like, well, I think like Nevada, I think they should actually legalize it everywhere for one. because one night stands are totally legal everywhere, but if you get any money for your time, you can go to jail. I think that's silly. I think that's a very silly law. It probably came from Puritan times, most likely. And that, and I think the government just doesn't like things they can't tax. But if they legalize it and have things set up like they do in Nevada, they can. So, but it's a lot about. I think it's a lot to do with America's rigidness and Puritan attitude towards certain things.
When it comes to the law, that's one thing, but it's like I think the moralistic and like acceptability of it and the legal nature of it are two separate things.
It can, but but say for instance, because like America, I mean, there's countries all over the world that have fucking problems with the judicial system. We are no different. Oh my god. But there's a good chance that a hooker will spend more time in jail when that was a consenting situation than a rapist might. That's pretty fucked. Yeah. How is that just? Someone took it by force and he gets what? 6 months?
There's people who go to jail for like ever for weed violations.
Exactly.
And then like people who mess with kids who get out 6 months later.
Yeah, exactly. And technically you're arresting a woman who's basically just being compensated for her one night stand, but they're consenting adults. It shouldn't be the police's business as long as they're not hurting anybody. It shouldn't be their business. And that's how I see it. Like, is what grown folks do behind closed doors as long as nobody's getting hurt, not my fucking business at all. And they, instead of actually trying to dedicate themselves more so to solving cases, finding kidnapped kids, they're setting up stings so they can ambush Johns and hookers. Like, really? You think you're saving the world from two consenting people having sex? Really? Nah, bruh. Nah.
Well, then it should just be legalized. And
that's what I'm saying. It should be. Because I would rather have a chomo in jail than a woman who was having sex consensually.
You don't want some skeezer.
Yeah, but then where does the line of consent? Where is the line of consent when she is so heavily addicted to drugs and the only way that she can get them is through her pimp, because her pimp's got the connection through the drug dealers.
Legalization would actually help with that. Reason being is because, like, say, working at a strip club, like, let's say that they would set up shop like they would a titty bar. And so there's an actual business there. So one, if it's legal, then she doesn't have to hide her profession. She can go and get counseling, get help, and maybe get help with drug addiction.
See, the thing is, you can, even if you can still go and get a lot of the counseling anyway. Just because, like, a lot of the time that helps, you can still go and get it, even if she's a prostitute. The profession doesn't stop her from getting it.
A pimp, and she can't report the pimp if he mistreats her because being a prostitute's illegal. So he gets away with abusing her, and she's afraid to do anything. But if it's legal, she can take legal course against him and protect herself, get a VPO, and not be thrown aside just because of her profession, because it will be a legal profession. Even if
she is, as an individual who's being attacked, she can put out a restraining order. Someone
exactly
to her, regardless of her being, even if she is she's a pimp, no matter who it is, as a person who's been attacked by another, you can get a restraining order. The problem with the restraining order is the system doesn't work. That's where the problem comes in, is that the system of restraining orders is that you can get a restraining order on someone, they can turn up and start harassing you, the cops will come and take them away, and then you go through another legal process to deal with that, and nothing ends up happening to that person. Well, it happens a lot of times.
Happen. But as long as you
even if that's
you keep things basically back alley. You like, for instance, if one of y'all were to get
oh shit. Back alley. That sounds so shady.
It's a similar concept.
It's like, hey man, like some people prefer in the back and then the front. It's like whatever your preference. I don't judge.
Like seedy back alleys. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, like, do you really want to do a hoe in her seedy back alley?
I'm talking about anything where you hear the word back alley, you just know someone's gonna get stabbed. someone's not
Yeah,
coming out of
exactly. Actually, yes, that's
that
exactly
alley.
it. Things like that happen because things are illegal. See, like for instance, if one of you two decided to get an escort and like you went to go like wash your face or like have a shower real quick and she stole your wallet, how are you going to report that without admitting what you did? But
Exactly.
if
Yes.
the profession
Yeah,
is
but then,
legal,
Exactly.
yeah,
but
I
if
think
the
you take
profession
that risk. You want
you're not
to,
afraid to go to
I think as the John, I don't really have much sympathy for him. Or
what,
so, or there's
what
someone who
what
does
I'm
that. It's
saying
like,
though,
yeah,
a person, if they're done wrong, should have a right to legal recourse.
But
And
that's
so if
also
yeah,
that
And so if a
there's
prostitute
also
was to rob you, you shouldn't have to be afraid of going to the police to get help because you're afraid you're going to get in trouble too.
well, all right.
So she
Yes,
continues to get to do what she's doing with
yeah,
no
yeah.
justice served.
there's a type of criminal out there whose whole entire thing is that they are thieves who find out about other thieves and rob them, because if you rob a thief, what the fuck is going to be their legal recourse when you rob the thief? There's there's that type of criminal out there that does that.
Yeah, but
You know,
then the criminals I know who've done that end up having
go get some
a
dumb
sooner or later.
criminals.
there-
No, no,
There's a
no, Chris.
there's
There's
a
some
group of
dumb
guys that turn up to the house. They go,
Chris.
yeah, they go and rip off the criminals, and then yeah, a group of guys turn up to your
Chris.
house, and
Chris.
shit goes down.
Chris. I grew up around some dumb criminals. Dumb
Yeah,
criminals. Very
yeah.
dumb criminals. My teenage years was full of a revolving door of dumb criminals who were getting in and out of jail left and right. That was my teenage years of hanging out in the streets with people. Luckily, I was not, dumb enough to, get locked up along with them, but they all did their own stupid things. Gone for 6 months. Oh, what happened? Oh, so and so got arrested. Why? Oh, he stole a car. Oh, okay. What happened? So and so got arrested. What happened? Oh, he tried to sell crack to an undercover detective. It's like, oh, okay.
Never sell drugs to people
Yeah,
you don't know.
yeah. But then I know like guys that a guy thought it was a smart move to rip off one of the let's call them motorcycle clubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Who
And
in
it's
the
just like,
hell
yeah,
thinks that robbing a biker is a good idea?
it's like, yeah, that's not a smart thing to do.
Oh, jeez. Are they alive?
Yeah, what happened? Please
Um,
go into
I
detail.
believe he um, is no longer in the country. I don't know any details. All I know
He
is
left
that
the
yeah,
country. Oh shit! I hope
that
it's worth it.
he yeah was off and running. He
Oh
did his
my
thing.
god!
He thought he's a smart motherfucker. He thought that
No,
he was like, yeah,
you want to
he
rob
thought he
somebody. That
was
was your first
top shit.
mistake. You want to rob a biker. That was your second and last mistake. Dumbass. No.
But then this guy was a dumbass, and he had this thing that he would do where he would it was usually to young impressionable women. You'd get like a drinking straw and you put it on the table and he would sit there and he had this whole spiel about how we only use like 15% of our mind and we can use more of it and become psychic and have like psychic powers and stuff, and that he's been working on these techniques to open up these abilities, and he's going to show you with the straw. And what he does is he moves his hand really fast towards the straw. Just before he hits it, he pulls it away and then moves it in again fast. So it's basically moving his hand really fast towards the straw and pulling it away again, like creating a sort of breeze with his hand with the
Oh,
straw.
great!
And then
The next airbender.
the straw moves a little bit. And he goes, see, I moved that with my psychic powers and I can teach you to do it too. And then he'll say, like, I'm going to extend my psychic powers to you, get them to sort of brush their hand over the top of it, creating a similar sort of thing. And then you say, you see, you made the straw move a little bit. You say, now you can learn more of how to do this. That was one of his big spiels that he would do every single time.
How are you
What the fuck, man? That is some weird shit. I just get up and leave. I'd be like, I can't even talk to you, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to take a seminar. Are you gonna pay like fucking $40 a week to go to night class to learn how to move shit with your fucking mind? Is that what this guy's trying to do?
I think there was two things. One, what you do is you go online and had this online school where you pay a certain amount every month to be a
Jeez.
member of, and you
Powers
get
are
lessons from him. But then a lot of the time it would be let's go and get from that point it would be like they go and get a few drinks and then go back to her place and have a few more drinks until she's not really conscious of what's going on, and then have some fun.
Oh, that's horrible.
So yeah, this guy was an
Yeah,
absolute
if it's
piece
not
of shit.
consensual, it's rape.
No, this guy was an absolute piece of shit, and when he started bragging
Man, I
about
wish
things
the
that he's
bikers had
done,
got him.
I was sort of like hoping that he'd stick around when he started bragging about the things that he had done. But
Yeah, because
Yeah.
being an idiot and robbing the wrong people is, well, I mean, I don't condone robbing anyone, but it's haha, you robbed the wrong people. It's kind of funny. Like, but I mean, basically,
is
date
true.
raping
Yeah,
women,
I agree with
date
that.
raping people is just that's not cool.
Nah.
No. That's the whole different level of ooh.
No, but what you
Yeah.
said, robbing. What you said, were robbing people who rob people. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
There's
I mean, I don't.
some of it,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't
Like,
think-
there's
I
times
don't-
when I can agree with that.
I'm
Like,
not
it would
saying
depend.
I'm not saying I condone that action. My whole thing is saying that
That would be a case by case basis situation. Like,
my whole thing is live by the sword, die by the sword. That's what I'm fucking saying.
yeah, but I think a person needs to be what's the word I'm looking for? Like, don't overuse the swords though. like if two people are getting two scumbags are getting into it and they have a tendency to rob each other, I don't care. Like, do you. But like, if some dude fucking robs a little old lady and knocks her down and takes her money, he totally should get his ass kicked and robbed right back. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a case by case basis situation, you know.
What goes around comes around type shit. Boomerang effect, of course.
Yeah, because there's just certain things you shouldn't do. Like I wouldn't be above
like punch Rick
robbing
Moranis.
a bank, but I would never rob an innocent old lady's house or something. There's a big fucking difference there. You know what I'm saying?
Would you just
or a church? I wouldn't rob a church.
Would you just walk down the street and just randomly punch Rick Moranis?
I wouldn't randomly walk down the street and punch anybody. I wouldn't randomly walk down the street and hit anyone for no reason. I wouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't want it done to me. That's usually what I try
Have
to
you
stick
seen
to.
like the footage of like the guys walking past and randomly hitting little old ladies?
Oh,
yeah.
That's like hard.
Yeah,
I
those
look at that
those
stuff,
people
like,
deserve to be beaten in the street with bamboo sticks. I'm not playing.
Is like you hope when those guys get caught and arrested and go to jail.
I hope
you
so.
Really hope,
I really do hope so.
but you really hope there's somebody there on the inside.
Like, really,
that,
how much of a piece of
has
shit are
like
you to go after
sick
little
old
old
grandma?
ladies or like kids? Like, how much of a piece of shit do you have to be?
But I hope there's a guy that he's in his cellmate is a guy who was raised by his grandmother, and he's like, he's in there with his grandmother's on the outside and sick and not in a great way, and I hope that's the sort of person that these guys get put in with. Someone who's going to be like, he's going to say, oh, you're in here for beating the crap out of a defenseless little old lady. Well, I was raised and in love with this defenseless little lady as my grandma.
I
so,
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Here's
too.
a bed sheet. Enjoy.
Because like I joke that it's a pirate's life for me, but like I would be like a pirate with like decent like guidelines. Like, there's some people you just don't rob just out of moral principle. You know, you wouldn't rob an orphanage. You know, you wouldn't rob a little old lady.
A pirate with a conscience.
Huh?
A pirate with a conscience.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that kind of like so maybe like an oxymoron or something?
Not
like
necessarily. Not necessarily, because pirates
wasn't
just
the whole.
Well, hold on. Pirates, like, for the most part, were known for wanting to live by their own rules, but sometimes they didn't have a moral code. Sometimes they did. It just varied. It's just like any other organization or group or gang. They
I was
they
under
had their own
the
set of rules and morals that they abide by.
They were also
yeah,
known
I was
to
under
say,
the
they
impression
were
that they
known
were
to
pretty
say
much
"gar."
wild.
They were very much known to go "gar" and
Well,
say
Gar.
I would be whatever pirate I want to
"Me
be,
matey."
and if it I would choose that if I
You can
decide
be
to go out and do
whatever
pirate
type of
shit,
pirate you identify as.
a libertarian pirate,
You're a libertarian pirate.
slightly, because being a libertarian means minding your own business, and being a pirate
Yeah.
kind of sort of defeats that slightly. But I would like if I was gonna fuck with people, I would fuck with scumbags. Like I would like rob scumbags. Like
"Gar."
oh you messed with kids, I'm gonna break your fucking legs and steal your wallet, you piece of shit. Like
You'd be
I would be like
so you'd be like, "Gar, ye be fucking with the little ones.
no, I don't think all
Ye be
pirates
heel
talk
hole
like
in
that.
ya.
This is not a cartoon. Like
Ye gonna be walking the plank, matey.
I might make them walk the plank to see whatever
Deliver you down
creatures are
to
living in the
Davy
water.
Jones' locker." Like that sort of "Gar."
It's hard to be a pirate when you live in Oklahoma and there's no oceans. Like, like we
I
have
said,
lakes, but it's very and so at best I'm probably gonna find like just junk at the bottom of a lake that people dump, like a bicycle. I'm not gonna find anything interesting. So we're a very landlocked pirate. I'm a very
Have you
landlocked
seen
pirate.
the people doing magnet fishing?
Oh
the
my
guys on
god, I've
YouTube?
tried that. I've tried that once or twice, and I literally just found like some old fishing hooks. I was like, YouTube made this look way more fun. But that's why I dug that boat out of my woods, because that boat's been back there for 25 years before I even got here.
What do you mean magnet fishing? What is that?
All right.
Yeah.
So you get yourself a decent magnet, something that has enough power to hold, say, 30 or 40 pounds. Decent sized magnet, and they got these loops on them. And the best thing to do is get a rope that can handle like 60, 70 pounds, because you don't know what you're going to find. I mean, anything more than that, you might tip your boat anyway. So you tie off real good knot, and you drop it down into the water until it touches the bed of the river or the lake or ocean or whatever. Like, well, probably not the ocean. That's pretty deep. And then you just kind of move it along, like paddle along, move it around. So just kind of just do this and see if you kind of occasionally go like this, see if it stuck to something, caught something, and then you kind of pull it up and see what metal things have stuck to the magnet.
Oh.
Now, obviously, things like silver and gold aren't magnetic, so you're not going to get that.
But you get guns.
Right. You might find guns that have been thrown out. You might find like a safe, one of the small box safes like this that someone might have dumped. Gold-plated things, because it will be like, it might have ferrous metal underneath the gold plating. Like, that's possible. But like silver and gold solids like are not magnetic, so you won't get those. But you might just find all kinds of interesting shit that's been tossed out or dropped, and yeah, it's you're not likely to find anything that's like super important, but it'd just be kind of fun and interesting to see what's there. Excuse me. But I like I said, I only tried it once. I still have the magnet and the rope in my trunk, so if I ever get the opportunity.
It would kind of be along the same lines of walking along the beach with a fucking metal detector, right?
Yes, it kind of
Similar
is, except
to
with a
that,
metal
yeah.
detector, if you have the right one, it can tell you the approximate depth of the item, and it can pick up on ferrous metals all the way up to silver and gold. And so you're more likely to find things with that in that regard. But
then the detector's not going to pull it up.
Right, it won't. It'll tell you the approximate depth.
I know that. You gotta dig that shit up. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to dig that up. But I don't know. Like, there's some things that like the magnet will kind of feel, but it's kind of wedged halfway in the water, and so you may not be able to pull it up. You might just have stuff on top of it, like a branch or whatever, and you can't. Because there was something under the water when I got a couple of fishing hooks. There was something I could feel it kind of sticking to it, but it must have been big enough that I couldn't actually bring it up. Or it's like I think I pulled a little and I could see a little bit of a broken branch. But hello, Nancy. But I don't know what it was. I think it might have been a piece of like steel piping or something from a perhaps part of like on the end of like a dock, a small little place where you put like a small boat. And so it could have been like part of the railing that used to be there. I mean, it could be that. So
I think the guys that I watch that
Nancy
do it,
wants
they
to come back
have
up.
a like a grappling hook they throw down as well, so they can get it, so they can see what it is. They can then throw a grappling hook in to hook onto the other end and yank it a bit and move it around.
that's a bit tricky, especially in water you cannot see, because you
Yeah.
don't. Once you get that grappling hook on there, you might have a little trouble getting it off of there if you decide you don't want to do this. Like, never
Yeah.
mind, I don't want to try to bring this onto the boat. Shit, stuck. So I personally would stick to a magnet, because, like I said, if you're on like a regular sized boat for like one person, you don't want to try to struggle too much because you're going to tip your boat.
Yeah, these guys I've been watching doing it, they do it from a bridge anyway, so they've got something to push against.
That's depending on the location. That's hard because there's a bridge right down the street from me, and I actually tried it over there. So I've actually tried it twice. But the first time I tried it, I got like fishing hooks. The second time I didn't get shit. Like, nothing stuck to it. But man, that was at least a 50-foot drop. I had 100 feet of rope, because you got to make sure you got a shitload of rope for this. And it was like 50 foot, so it was so hard to kind of swing it around like this, because I had to move it a little bit up here to make it swing down there to try to get it into the water, try to get stuff. There was probably a shit ton of beer cans, but aluminum is not magnetic, so thankfully I didn't get stuck with that.
The tropes of failing at fishing is what, like a boot, tin cans, like shit like that.
Yeah, that's the downside of like going to like a beach area and trying to metal attack, because it's gonna be like some stupid shit. Like, a lot of it will end up being like aluminum cans if people are trashy. Once in a while, you might find a ring that someone dropped or slid off because their fingers were wet. They went swimming. But
actually, going fishing though, my thing was, it was always fucking 6-pack holders, because I've gone fishing a few times, not so many times in my life, but 6-pack holders was always a thing that was getting in the way of my fishing experiences. You know, like the plastic rings.
Too much garbage in the water.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, I mean, I've never approved of people doing that, but like when I actually started to give more of a shit about like clean water and this and that, it annoyed me even more. I'm like, oh, you white trash motherfuckers, can you please put your Bud Light cans in a bag and not just throw it in the water? Honestly, like, I mean, you just trash the place like it's your own house, when this is like parks and like recreational places. Like, you share this with other people. Other people have to deal with your trash.
Oh, they'll do that with anything now. It doesn't matter.
I hate that. I hate people like that, man. I'm gonna heat up my coffee. Be right back.
I live right down the block from a park that's always been just totally pillaged every time there's a fucking barbecue or a picnic. There's just mountains of garbage in the park if you try to walk through it on a nice Monday morning.
I think it was the Sydney Olympics. It was maybe a year or two after that. I went to Sydney, and it was in the winter, and I would it just started raining a little bit, and I came out of my hotel, and the flowing down the road was just like a river of garbage, of like McDonald's wrappers and other like refuse that people had just thrown onto the ground.
Oh, the subway tracks here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when the subway goes underground. The tracks are, they are a swimming in garbage.
It's sort of like there has to be a carriage at the front with the snow plow thing on the front to get rid of the garbage.
125th Street train station. Taking the train from where I am right now down to Manhattan. 125th Street is Harlem. It's these train tracks. For as long as I've been on the train, it's just swimming in garbage.
Ugh, God, it sounds dreadful. Man,
Yeah.
See,
I forget what year it was. Oh, sorry.
you'll see like a slice of pizza, just a dropped slice of pizza, just on the subway platform. while you're waiting to go home from work.
In Sarah's bad, they see the rat carrying away the slice of pizza, but then it's even worse when you see the slice of pizza carrying away the rat.
Oh my goodness, we can make like turn it from Russian jokes to like New York jokes. In Soviet New York, rat like pizza carries rat.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, holy shit, that's so bad. Like I thought we were kind of white trash here, but like it sounds like New York's got its own set of white trash. I think every place has its own set of white trash.
Oh yeah.
Or knackers. I mean, it depends on where you're from, but same thing though.
All right, Moira, in OKC, do they have the restaurant ratings on the window when you walk in there? The A, B, and C.
I think there's some like I don't really look for that sort of thing. Truth be told,
You should.
Well,
You
no,
should.
well, no. Like I think some places, like I've been to some places that are a little like medium to upscale-ish, like not super upscale because I'm broke, but if somebody else's like their idea of going, I'm like whatever. But like there's some that's like, oh, one Oklahoma City's award for best restaurant of the year or month, and it might have like some stars on it. It might have something like that. But I've never really looked for it. Like the majority of the signs I see outside restaurants here ask you to wear a mask or they tell you the hours.
The ratings on the window. The ratings on the window are from the Department of Health.
I would have to look.
That's for like cleanly kitchen. Yeah.
I can check. Like next time I can look and try to remember.
There's even pizzerias that have that. You have to.
Well, see, I usually do the drive-through. I usually don't like going into restaurants, so I might not be in a place where I could see it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But like, what am I doing tomorrow? I don't think I'm doing jack shit tomorrow. I think I could probably take a few pictures and see if some random restaurants in the area have those or not. They might. If there's something wrong and they fail a health inspection, you can best believe it will be taped to the fucking window. Absolutely. I saw that with the Church's Chicken. That like by the health department, they fucking closed it down, and so like you could see stuff in there like being remodeled and everything. Like apparently, like it needed an overhaul. So like, hello. So like, if they fail a food like a cleanliness inspection, they will definitely have it fucking taped on their door. Absolutely. But like, if they haven't, I don't know if they really show it.
Welcome back, Nancy.
Yeah, I just want to say, purple hair matters, Moira. I'm with you.
Purr.
No, they were saying on Jedi Bills, do you see Moira's hair? She dyed it purple. And I'm like, I got a purple wig.
Well,
I'm doing it.
Like, the whole thing's not so See, like, so the color's not really being picked up by the light. But, like, these dark areas are, like, the kind of purplish blue and stuff.
Cool.
And I have it isolated from the rest of my hair, so it's kind of whitish going this way. But like, it gets the blue, so it's, like, kind of like a toner to keep the grass tones out. And so I'm using this because when my hair is wet, I don't want the color to bleed into this part.
Right. But I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. Sorry.
Are they screen sniping us over there?
No, they're talking about stupid stuff.
Like, if they are, be like, hi, Jedi Bill. Hi, everybody.
No, there was just somebody mentioned that you dyed your hair purple. And like I said, I just couldn't resist.
If someone's scream sniping me, they gotta be fucking desperate as fuck. So why would they do that?
That is not true. That is not true. It's entertaining over here. You're just not getting a lot of publicity or advertisement, honestly. Because Twitter's an asshole. Because Twitter is, I have like 1,300 people on my Twitter, but I can tell you I don't see tweets from 1,300 different people every day. I do not. There's a lot that I have to out of my way go see. So sometimes people Twitter will just kind of decide what they're gonna make easy to see and not.
Well, that's
so like if I see that you're
going
to be up, I'll like give it a like and a retweet or something. But sometimes I just plain don't.
Well, that's
there's so much other networking out there that I do that beyond that.
I don't want to do other than Twitter, YouTube. I really don't.
Well,
I know.
I mean, that's fair.
I know.
I'm just saying that.
I seem a little stuck in my ways there, but that's just me.
But
Yeah.
I just don't want you to think that you're like, oh, they must be desperate as hell if they're coming to check out my show. Your show is not
No.
like
No.
you're
I
not,
was talking
your
about
show's not
Steve
worse
Snipe.
than anyone else's, dude. Not really. I mean, there's a
I was
lot of
talking
channels who have lots
I
of
was
people
talking-
in the chat, and they're just sitting there talking like we're doing.
I was talking about
And
Stream
sometimes you don't
Snipe.
want to listen to fucking Star Wars and Star Trek over and over and over and over and over and over and over until like
Yes.
Yes, man. Yes.
blah 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 blah, and I'm wrenching.
You got to do it in the right tone. Blah 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 blah. I can't do the Imperial March, I'm sorry. But I was trying to do blah 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 in the Imperial March. So just so you know what the hell I was attempting to do, because I can hear it in my head, but between here and here, it doesn't work.
I know.
Everything is good.
I get that.
Moderation is the key. Everything is good in moderation. Like just
Exactly. We don't get very rare do we get into screaming matches on here. Usually,
Yeah, they're
we
screaming
talk
over there.
about
I
a
can't
whole
tolerate
variety of different topics. And trust me, I mean, I've seen channels that I'm like, what's the big deal? They're beating a dead horse. They're talking about the same thing for the 50th time this week, and they got 60 people in the chat. It's about hype and fluff. It's like they have a publicist. You're
what
not
you
lesser
need
than
is
them.
what you just need is a good
Whatever.
like
PR
online
thing.
drama.
PR thing.
You need like a good online drama or a
No.
SJW that
No. Okay, yeah, I swear to God.
Wait,
Yeah, that will.
I have a good one.
an SJW that will tweet
Chris.
about you forever.
Krish. I lost my
Krish.
original YouTube. I lost my original Twitter because of the fucking YouTube drama.
I know.
As the boob turns this week, who will be unsubbing who because they did not recognize them in the first 15 seconds of hello.
No. That
my God,
wasn't
I've
even
seen
it.
people get that upset.
That wasn't
I'm
even
just
it.
saying.
At least that would make more sense.
Nancy, that wasn't even it. That wasn't even it though, Nancy. I was
smart ass, being like a soap opera, you know, the boob turns.
no,
Last week.
I was accused of violent rhetoric, whatever they said.
Oh, really?
I can't even remember what they said. I can't even remember what the exactly
Violent rhetoric? Are you?
or just
Wow.
condoning violence, even if you're not saying it.
To colorfully.
You know what violent rhetoric means? I'm a paralegal.
Euphemisms like he would like to put his foot in someone's ass. It doesn't mean that he is literally going to do so.
So
But
what else
that's
is going on?
That's why I got suspended with the original Twitter. That's why now I started Captain Blinky's Magical Ocean Voyage. That's my Twitter.
That is so weird.
I like that too. You know why I like that so much? I want a boat. My next thing is to travel by sea and just spread the love and joy of sunshine all over the place with a stupid attitude.
Treasure in shipwrecks.
What I'm saying, like, all right, after I got banned for violent rhetoric, whatever the fuck they said, you know, isn't it good to come back with such a gentle name like that?
I think it's
Right?
cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it's cute.
Awesome. I am so like banned from like 4 different places, but the one that's really bad is Facebook. I am so banned from Facebook that I am not ever allowed.
I am surprised by that. I've been on Facebook since 2010, and I have never been banned from Facebook.
Yeah, but you don't do the kind of shit I do.
I've done some shit that would piss them off, and I have talked shit about everybody. I mean, not people.
It was
public figures. Oh, we lost her.
My picture Dopey. I took my little statue Dopey and I made it talk. Okay, so I made the mouth move, and I was like, "Hey," and I was talking like I was stone Dopey. And that we were all like looking down from like Walt Disney heaven, and we were all like pissed off at Disney. It was like this whole like 20-minute video, and I posted it, and I got friggin' like fined. I mean, like I got like in so much trouble.
For making fun of it, you got in trouble. It's not like you
Yeah, and then I got in trouble too because I was writing under Venus Star, and I made it very clear that this was just my writing page, so
it's
I
just a
wouldn't get
parody. It's
bugged.
just making fun of something.
I would, right, I wouldn't get bugged, and I was writing some really fucking heavy dark shit, right? And somebody didn't like what I wrote, and so like I got banned forever because I am promoting witchcraft and demonic activity on Facebook.
Okay,
That's nuts. But then, yeah.
no offense to Nancy. I don't believe in witchcraft.
Nope, nope, I don't either.
It's still considered an organized religion to some degree, and therefore should be protected under First Amendment rights.
Right, and that's what I was arguing against. But because I did not mention witchcraft and just my content was so dark that it was undescribable to, they said that I had too many accounts running at the same time, and I kept getting reported over and over.
Somebody had it in for you.
Oh, big time. That's okay.
Yeah.
And that,
guess
like
what?
I said,
Guess
I don't
what?
believe in that sort of
Guess
business
what, though?
myself, but like, if you don't
Guess
like
what? I have a Facebook account, but I have a Facebook account now. So no matter what they do, they can't stop me.
good.
I know. I know how to go through the back door. I know my boss. My boss at in Las Vegas at my last paralegal firm was the original Google guy. He's a freaking hacker. He taught me how to do all that shit. So I'm just like, you want to block me? Okay. No, that's not going to happen. So you just, you know what? That's why it's good to know people all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You just call them. Hey, I'm just calling on a friend, man. You remember when I went to that $20? Can you get me into the back door of Facebook so I can fuck them up? You know,
I think that would be grand, honestly, because some people need to be brought down a peg. Because, like I said, it's not my thing. Like some of your, I don't want to call it a hobby. That might sound demeaning. Some of your beliefs. Some of your beliefs are very much like
mine,
polar opposite of mine. But I wouldn't have you banned.
I think a lot of us
if I didn't like
beliefs.
something on their video, I would just go look at a different video.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I mean, unless some person is inciting violence, against people or something, like if you don't like it, go look at something else, dude. There's no reason to ban people from it. Like, oh no, the Puritans, we must cleanse Facebook of people who are not.
People are coming. They're saying we're going to come and lay hands on you and cast out the demons. And I'm like, you know what? I already casted out my demons a long time ago. If you would read what I wrote, you would understand that exactly what is going on in this poem. I'm a visual storyteller, henceforth V-star, visual storyteller and rebel. It is very specific on what I do. I am a storyteller. I tell stories.
Okay, all right, Nancy. As someone, even though I'm not super churchy, as someone who believes in God, I apologize on their behalf for that. That's humiliating. Oh my God. Like, I don't know what makes them think they're so high and mighty and in any position to do such a thing if such a thing was real. Oh my God.
Because that's man-made religion for you.
Like, on behalf of semi-Christian people, like, I apologize for that.
I mean, I follow Jesus and the teachings of Jesus. I think Jesus rocks. I think that, what he said, especially in the book of Thomas and the Nosh. But I studied all religion.
Judeo-Christian kind of concept, kind of. But
yeah, Jesus rocks, man. I mean, like if you read the book of Thomas and listen to exactly that he said he was here.
Hold on,
and not carnalized when he was carnalized.
Jesus.
Okay.
Said,
the book of Thomas. I do believe that is where it says,
I can't hear you.
To find me, split a piece of wood and I am there. Lift a stone and you will find me. The kingdom of God is in you and around you.
If the inside becomes, when the inside becomes the outside, and the outside becomes the inside, and the two become one, that is where you will find the kingdom of heaven. You will search for the truth, and when you find it, at first you will become agitated. I can go on and on and on. I've studied for a very long time many, many, many different beliefs and religion, and And there's a total difference between core belief, spirituality, and religion. Okay. And if you look through all of it and you compare it and you do parallels, okay, you get a storyboard and do the parallels, it's all the same story with
A lot
different
of it is very
cast
similar.
of
Yes.
characters. Let me finish,
Yeah.
please.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and the story just continues and it evolves because we are evolving. We cannot sit there and we are so advanced from having to have something in parables for us because they could not read the word. They did not read or write. They were just listening to what the Pharisees were telling them. Okay. Okay. Moses came down with 10
Regurgitating.
simple laws and man
So
made
you're
650
saying
after them.
you're saying everyone was regurgitating the same story, just with different.
Yes.
Different cast of
Different
characters.
details
Had their
from it.
version of Jesus.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look at the parallel between everything. You know, you can take right backwards. They have discovered now that Hindu is the first known artifacts of religion. Blah 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 blah. Okay, but then over time, look what happens. Oh my God, there's a big sandstorm, right? Whoa, look what we discovered. This and this and this and this. Oh, look what we discovered. Giant heads. Hello, it's already been mentioned in every single solitary. The Sumerians, the Mayans, the Egyptians, all the same. The flood, everything.
Yes, a lot
Because
of
they were all at one place at one.
Flood. They
They were
mentioned
all at one place at one time. Even mythology, you like, and even the most ancient mythology, it's still like Abraham was praying to on the back 40 to the fucking moon god when God was silent, or the great I am, the big eye in the sky. I call it the creator. Okay, whatever. You know, the whatever. Because I just don't even want to label this entity or whatever it is. But I'm that kind of person that was like, what if this and this and this happened? What if it's topsy-turvy and upside down? What if, and then all of a sudden Lilith pops up, and all of a sudden, you know, all this stuff, and I'm like, well, what if those angels?
Wrong God. What if you prayed to the wrong God?
Right.
That's
and so where's
That's another thing. That's another thing that turned me off from religion.
Thank you. Don't shove down.
If you prayed to the wrong God, you know, then what's your deal at Heaven's Gate?
Me, I try if I pray, I try to address it to who it may concern.
I'm not gonna fault anyone for their religious opinion.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about my own personal.
Yeah.
Right. And it's something it is, and that's exactly it, Slasher. It's personal. It's a personal relationship.
Exactly.
It's a personal relationship between.
You don't shove your beliefs down other people's throat.
Or I mean,
that's why
about it.
The one thing
bad.
Like I love the Proverbs, okay? Because I love the Proverbs so much because it's wisdom. But you know who gave Solomon the Proverbs? Bathsheba. Do you know Bathsheba? When David, a man after God's own heart, who fucking murdered the bitch's husband because he wanted to fuck her and then got her pregnant. You know what I'm saying? But he immediately said, shit, fuck, I fucked up.
That's a big fuck up.
You know what I'm saying? And then, so they had Solomon. But that wisdom, okay, was like stuff like this, you know, it's just crazy. I like the Proverbs because they make sense. You know, don't rely on your own understanding, because it's like telling a 3-year-old, like my 3-year-old son, don't touch the burner because it's hot. And he's like, well, what do you mean it's hot? And you touched it. Right. You don't, I mean, if I created my son. He's a creation from me. Okay, my creation cannot rise above me at the age of 3. You see what I'm saying? You have to learn it, and it's a personal relationship, and it says that It says it's an inner self-personal relationship. It doesn't say that if you do not believe this way, or you say, fuck, you're going to hell. Hell was not created. If you read it right and you put the words back in that were taken
Absence of God.
out.
It's absence
You
of
know,
God.
Stuff I never.
The Catholic Church decided
I
to
never
decorate
underst-
things and make it more theatrical and added fire.
Oh,
and
the Dante's
brimstone.
Inferno.
Because
I-
technically,
You
hell
know,
is supposed
This
to be
is
the absence of God.
one thing
Go
that
on,
bothered
please.
me about being brought up as a Catholic. It really bothered me where so many hardcore Catholics were like, "You're going to hell for this. You're going to hell for that." Like, if I'm sorry, this thing was supposed to be about forgiveness and understanding, right? I thought the whole thing was
Right.
based on forgiveness. No, you're going to hell.
Aren't Catholics
What?
like Jews? It's all based on guilt.
Oh, right.
Catholic religion,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
number one, is a blend of Jesus came down to friggin' whatever. Okay, number one, if you think about it, okay, Jesus was the man. He was the son of both God and man, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, sort of. I mean, he was
But
supposed to be
listen. So are we, because if God is our creator
made in his
We are
image.
made
and
in
He
His
created
image.
man, and we're through man, we are the same. That's what He's trying to tell us. We are all the same. And if the fallen angels, okay, so whoever had pride or whatever, blah, 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 that story, it's just saying, look, how it's formed is you cannot fucking see the light without darkness. And darkness cannot be without the light. They both are together. So when they got separated at some point for whatever happened, for whatever reason, it's a choice. It's a choice that we have to make. Who are you going to walk with? And that's
Without chaos, there is no order, right?
exactly.
Well, you have nothing
Exactly.
to compare it to. So exactly. I mean, how can you
Exactly.
appreciate the
That's
good times if there aren't some bad times?
Exactly. Because how are you going to, it's like I read this really profound thing the other day. Without sin, without the temptation of sin, listen, without the temptation of sin, we will never be righteous.
Without
Because
sinners, there's no.
Because
Without
being
sinners,
righteous
there's no
isn't
saints.
about having easy choices.
sin means to miss the mark. Sin is not a crime. Sin means you just missed the mark. Damn, damn, I almost had it, but oh gosh, I got it wrong. Okay, I'm going to try again. Sin is not, but they did everything such an abomination. It's an abomination, God. I'm sorry. Is that what God said? No.
Here's my thing. A lot of these people who like to go be zealoty and shit, like apparently they missed the chapters where it mentioned that God is the one true judge and it's His job to judge. Like apparently they missed that mark. Clearly.
But the judgment
and they love to slam gays and all this other stuff. Well, not all, but a few like to slam gays. And it's like that's from the Old Testament. Are you going to wear clothing and mix Bible?
Moira, the whole point is this.
You said slam gays, Moira.
Oh,
that's
I meant bash them, be mean to them.
Hey, man,
oh my God, you're fired.
You're going to slam them up against the wall?
Like, why?
Some like it like that.
On the table, maybe.
Okay, I can't have a serious conversation with Slasher because every time I say something, he tries to find something dirty about it, and I'm just.
You're so adorable. You're so adorable, Slasher.
You
rock, dude. You're so rock, man. But that's why, and this is another thing too. Okay, you could sit there and talk until the fucking cows jump over the moon and come and get me from Venus. Okay. And bring me back to Earth and talk me until I'm blue in the face. Okay. But you know what I'm watching? I'm watching your fucking actions and what you're doing. That's why it says you will know them by the fruit they bear.
The fruit of their
I can
labor.
talk to you
will know
all
them
night long about this,
and
but you
beware
can
of false
see from the
prophets.
fruit that I bear in my life the kind of person I am.
Mm-hmm. Yes, preach, girl. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then
And
so
that's
that
all that
you
matters. And that comes from the heart. And that's what it means by your heart's desire. What is your
Exactly.
heart
And that's
desire?
something almost every religion should be able to get behind on that one. Is like,
But every
let's judge by
religion
their actions.
does. But
Well, I
it
know. I'm just
takes
saying.
a
Well,
man
over
to,
religion and shit.
but the man-made part of religion is taking the basic core of what we know, and we're born into this world or created from our basic
All
core.
religion is
Okay,
man-made. All religion is man-made.
It kind of
exactly.
does,
Not a single
but
religion that isn't man-made.
That's why I don't believe in
All religions, man.
religion. Jesus wasn't even religious. He just had to come back that
raise-
way for that
I'll raise
kind
my hand here.
of.
I agree with you, Nancy. I agree with
Okay, he's the one who kicked over the temple tables.
he was kicking motherfuckers out. Like, get the
heavy
fuck
metal.
out of here with your
You know-
shit.
you.
Exactly.
You know,
Like he
who did
wasn't.
he hang out with? Why did he hang
know-
out? Who did he hang out with?
want to cover this part. I do want to cover this part a little. To be fair, they said he hung out with prostitutes, but in that part of the world, you show ankle, you considered a hoe. And
Right. And also, let me tell you something else. The whole thing about the adulteress was because, excuse me, men, and I don't mean to slander you, or this is no way intended to make you feel like shit, but this is the way it was back then, and there's no doubt about it, okay? Women were put down upon, men were in control. Well, if a man wanted to go fuck another woman,
I know
can do
that
okay,
sort of
listen to
shit.
this, listen to
I
this.
know
He
that.
had to call
Yes, I know
adultery
that.
on his wife. He had to call adultery on his wife. So if he went and slept with another woman and got her pregnant to cover his ass, he called adultery on his wife and they stoned her. That's the way it
I know.
was.
Really. But yeah, we're not aiming that at y'all.
But I'm
Obviously,
not aiming that at men. You know, it is what
Well,
it
I
is.
mean, like, if
Okay.
I was there, I'm saying, like, if I was there back in the day to vote against it, I'd be like, no.
Right? But like,
But you don't understand.
She wasn't even considered a prostitute until 600 years after she died. It's just that, like she said, some of these.
First of all, Mary Magdalene
zealots didn't like the idea that a woman was considered an equal and possibly an apostle with Jesus. They couldn't handle that.
She was not a prostitute. That Mary Magdalene was not the woman with the 7 demons. Mary Magdalene was not the prostitute. Those are all different women.
Right.
I was going to say, didn't they take like a whole bunch of women and compact it into one?
Say that.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It doesn't take much to be considered a prostitute over there. It doesn't take a lot.
Right. And the sorceress who was following them, saying, "Oh, they're the true ones." That was considered Mary Magdalene, the one who anointed his head and feet. No, that wasn't. Mary Magdalene went and started following Jesus back because her husband served her divorce papers and took her fortune away from her. So she, in spite, slept with a Roman soldier before he handed her the divorce papers. So he made him look like a piece of shit. So the Roman soldier took her, and they were having an affair. They were together, okay? And then he and her got into some kind of dispute, and he left her. And then that's when she came across Jesus. So she was not a prostitute. She was not a whore. She slept. She was getting back at her husband because the husband married into her fortune and then wanted her fortune. So said that she was an said she was an adulteress and had to get that piece of paper because then if she was an adulteress, she would be cast out and the fortune wouldn't have been his. So, yeah, so that is the actual to as far as we know story.
Like I said, that still kind of goes with the church who decided she was a hooker. Like,
Right, of
60
course,
years
because
after she
she's
died.
sleeping around. She's sleeping around. She went ahead and screwed this Roman soldier. So of course rumors going to travel. Blah 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 blah. And then
Oh, yeah.
that's when So but so there's just like I don't know. I'm just really passionate about it all because it's just like right there. You know what I mean? It's just like
Right.
I feel like
And
it's
even
like
if you
right
don't believe
there, like right in the
Christianity, there's
grass.
certain
And then I'm
things-
like. And then I'm like, the next day I'm like, fuck, man, no, that can't be right. And so like I'm, and I will search till the day I die.
Well, that's
But,
what we're supposed to do, though. That's what we're supposed to
That's
do is to never
Search.
assume we learned everything and to keep looking and keep looking. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be complacent. I'm certain. I think somewhere in the Bible it even says not to ever keep yourself complacent.
And you will notice too,
Right.
like, I'll stop. I'm sorry because I will. You got to cut
No,
me
it's all
off.
right. I'm
Blah,
gonna
blah,
ask-
blah, blah.
I'm gonna. No. I want to ask everyone on panel here. Are you still willing to just stay on and babble, or everyone ready to call it a night? Because I just have to do something really quick, and I'll continue. If everyone's ready to go still.
I will babble until the cows come. Well, it's up. It's 3:02. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like raise
The cows are on their way back, eh?
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, she's like her passion for this is like intimidating. It's making it hard to like get a word in.
I'm sorry. I do. I'm bad. I told you that the other night, though. I said, please. I talk you. I don't ever shut up.
That's why I phrased it. Her passion is so intense. It's hard to like say So yeah, So I wasn't trying to say it in like in a degrading fashion or nothing like that. Like,
no, and I don't ever take that anything like that.
Good. Okay, on the internet sometimes it's hard to understand it. Like, so I try to be very.
Context
sometimes I don't
and
remember
tone is hard to get across.
Yeah. And that's why sometimes I talk a lot because I'm afraid I'm not explaining it well enough, and I'm like, shit, maybe I should do a little more so they understand where I'm coming from. Oh crap! Now I've overdone it.
Look at me, girl. I so know what you're talking about because it's in here. It's all in here. But when it comes from here to here, this is already like 5 more miles ahead.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Oh my god,
you know what I'm saying?
That's why I use voice text, because if I type, I miss words because I'm trying to get the thought across so quickly and type it that I miss words. They're up
me too.
Here, but yeah, so I voice text, and then my voice text turns in against me. And sometimes since inappropriate tries to send inappropriate things, I'm like, oh, backspace. Oh god, I didn't say that. Oh,
I hate it when the voice to text confuses, like when you're saying something like you and it says I, or it says them and it says us, and it's like no, you've made it sound like
him or him and them, and it's like
guess what? But guess what? There's thing that's called a phone that you can still like fucking call up and talk to somebody. It's amazing.
People live in other countries.
Yeah, like I'm on the other side of the planet. The international
I send
call
video.
cost
Well,
is
I
pretty
bet
up
you
there.
you can get a video text. I'm starting to send video text to my friends because I'm so tired of typing out shit.
My processor on my phone's kind of shitty, so it takes forever to try to process that. It's like
really, or I'll send my avatar and just do a voice recording.
Oh, wow.
My avatar. Do you know that my avatar has a stripper pole now? Did you see that? She's so cool.
I did not.
Yeah, we're gonna call her Sassy. We're gonna call her what was it? Sassy. What was it? Sassy something slut. We were gonna call her, and so I just need a stripper song so I can I was gonna make her pregnant. And yeah, I was going to really defile.
Why?
I was going to make her pregnant, and I was going to make her green. And I was going to...
Why would you make her pregnant and green?
To get reactions out of people.
Oh, okay. I just feel like that'd be very.
I don't know because it's funny. I don't know because just something different. It's an avatar. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a big joke because I want to learn how to do a stripper pole because you know what kind of exercise that is.
Oh my
And so
god,
that's
dude,
what it
like,
started at. But I had said it really loud at the corner store the other day, and like so apparently, like so it's been a like passing joke a long time. And then me and Butterfly started saying it, and then my avatar, I don't know how I came across it. But it's a stripper pole. So it's just he's on a stripper pole.
oh my god, like I went to one place and it was like this club bar thing. It wasn't actually like a strip club, but they did have like a pole. It wasn't very tall. Like I'm 5'9", and so this was probably maybe 7 feet. So it wasn't like something you could really climb up. And apparently, it doesn't stay stationary. Like when you turn, so it's
No.
fun. And as I said, it's fun. It scared the shit out of me. I was afraid I was gonna fall off.
No, it takes talent to run and jump on those things, man.
I don't
Yeah.
doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm just saying, like, oh
I
my
know.
god. Like,
With high
There's this
heels,
place
dude.
right out.
Shit. Sorry.
There's this place right outside where I live called New Rochelle, which was kind of like this
I've
was
heard
one
of the place.
original. It was one of the original hotspots for the whole COVID shit because some dude got it and came back home to New Rochelle and then took subway to Manhattan. Then all of a sudden, shit hit the fan. And the National Guard into New Rochelle.
Goodness.
Nuh-uh.
I
don't
well,
believe that.
it's got to start somewhere.
I don't believe that for
Nah,
one
what?
fucking minute.
Nah, what?
I don't believe
You don't
that.
believe that?
I don't
up.
doubt that it's possible because shit has to start somewhere.
Look it up.
Well, I don't believe.
New Rochelle.
I don't. And that's how the COVID started.
Well, no, how it spread in New York, I think, is what he's
No.
referring to.
It was like one of the original. It was like one of the original of highly reported
Carriers.
cases of where it came from.
Oh.
Yeah. We're not saying that New York itself has like it's just one of the first known cases. I think he's referring to.
And who reported
They sent
that?
the National Guard in there.
Yeah, what kind of skip tracing they do to figure that one out?
Well, I have my own theory on the virus anyway.
Me
So.
too. I have to do myself. First,
So-
the first rule of it all is don't believe the people who profit from it.
You know, look back. I mean, it's not the first time that you have to have population control. Look back. Look back in history. History is
He's not
right
wrong.
there.
He's not wrong. So not wrong. Also, like back in like 2003 or 4, there was a swine flu epidemic, and it killed more people, and nobody wore masks. Nobody freaked out like this.
No.
Media's got people worked up like a motherfucker.
What? SARS, avian bird flu.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Anthrax
nobody
scare.
shut down anything. Nobody freaked out. Nobody wore masks. Nothing.
West Nile virus.
Different though.
Exactly.
Because
Different.
those were test runs.
Up here.
A lot of the recent
Well, I don't
pandemics
think
were
could
test
have been
runs for
test
this.
runs. They might just be naturally occurring because sometimes diseases just naturally occur.
Look, when you have an open air market right down the street or 4 doors down from an animal testing site that you have dead carcasses outside that are not being picked up properly because they're in a different
contaminated it
because
the
they
river
are
runs right through the center of Wuhan.
and this site is testing what? Medication and viruses.
Everything.
How is that not going to spread into something? And with
Exactly.
everybody doing all the traveling and stuff, it you cannot pinpoint it anywhere. But somebody or some force or the powers that be can take something so trivial and make it such a big thing, because if everybody is fighting among themselves and
We
worried
don't fight
and
them
fear,
because we're
which
busy
is
fighting each
false
other.
evidence appearing real, they are not looking at what's really fucking going on in our government. Period.
Thank you.
They pressed the,
Thank you.
They
Yes, thank you.
they pressed the
That
fast
didn't
forward
work.
on. They
That
pressed the
didn't
fast
work. So
forward
what
on
do
the,
you do? Let's try
on
it.
the
The
On the
space
destruction
gliders.
machine, they just
Whoa, there's some
they just
glitching. There's some robotic glitching going on.
they just they just pressed fast forward on the destruction button. That's all they did. They went immediately from
It's not even that much
pandemic to race
destruction.
war.
Like, to be honest,
They
like
went,
we haven't even heard a lot about people dying from flu this year or heart attacks.
but how did they go?
as much.
How did they go from?
Like everything is COVID.
A friend
How
of
did they
mine
go
went to
from
the doctor
pandemic?
recently.
They went from pandemic to race war. How do you go from pandemic to race war in the middle of pandemic?
Magic, I guess. But all right,
Orchestration.
Chris is about to say something.
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. Thank you, Krish. Yes.
Oh,
I was
trying
going
to
to.
say
I was just going
something,
to
but
say a
there was
friend of
robot
mine
in-
went to
sorry.
the doctors.
Hold on.
He had to go to the doctors quite a lot because he had a motorcycle accident and he had damaged his ankle and he had to keep going back. So he got quite a good relationship going back regularly to see this doctor. And he said to the doctor, everyone's scared about this pandemic. What do you think? Should I be scared? What's the deal? And the doctor basically said that it looks like it's not great. It's like, they don't freak out. It's not the end of the world, but like just take sensible precautions. And on top of that, he said the thing that is actually worrying him is that flu deaths are down 80% this flu season.
Which is weird. Which means I think they took those numbers and put it over here.
Well, that's the sort of thing he was implying, is that
yes, because I think maybe
most of the
for
deaths
most
we're
part,
seeing
the
are
same amount
flu
of people
deaths.
are dying every year. They're just changing what's causing their death.
Or you just take you take the flu deaths and maybe a few other things
And
like
label
that,
it a
and
COVID
then
death instead.
and label it COVID, and that just inflates your COVID numbers. So now you've got something that
This
you
guy
can
right
TV,
here. Yes.
you can scare the shit out
You
of
can-
people, and there you go.
Yes.
And I think
fall off
people
the
have
back
been
of a-
prepped. Sorry,
Fall off the back of a motorcycle, and you're
COVID death.
COVID death. Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing: is that all right? The way the news interchanges it, they say COVID and Corona, and they're not the same thing. COVID has the framework of Corona, and Corona is one of the cold virus families. So if you've ever had Corona, which it wouldn't be hard to do because it's part of the common cold family, they a lot of times test for antibodies. So if you've had it at some point, you'll have antibodies most likely. So they'll consider you testing positive for when you have the antibodies. They're not looking to see if the actual active virus is in your system. That's the part that would make you contagious. And so, oh, this person they have what looks like antibodies for the coronavirus.
They cover
But it's
themselves
COVID
with that one.
positive.
They cover themselves with that one by saying, well, you could be a carrier.
Exactly. You might be an asymptomatic carrier. Well, if most of everybody's asymptomatic, it means they don't have symptoms, which means they're not sick. Oh, they're not symptoms. They're not suffering. They're not throwing up. They're not dying. They're not.
That means that it's
What's the
actually a
shit
very
they
mild
keep calling
condition.
on-
Exactly,
What's
Chris.
the
Exactly.
shit they keep calling all the Trump events? What is it? They keep calling it super spreader.
Super
that
Oh my
spreaders.
goodness, they're hot. They're hot.
I thought a
words.
super
Yeah.
spreaders was like a brothel or something.
It's hot word to get people afraid. Because, like he said, as long as everybody's arguing and fighting each other, oh, you should wear a mask. No, you shouldn't.
Oh, yeah, you're
How about
distracted.
you stop fighting and just social distance yourselves from each other and stop arguing about it? And we wouldn't be focusing on the shit that's going on, because I mean, let's see, when the swine flu thing happened, who was president? God.
10% off hose at super spreaders.
I think those
but
are the
I
Bush.
think-
Was that
I
the
think
Bush
President
era?
Bush- I think President Bush was
The Bush
president.
GW though, not
Right.
original.
Yes, I should have
original.
clarified. Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. Afghan and Iraq War Bush. 9/11 Bush. Yes.
Nancy.
He was president during
Nancy
when there was like swine flu going on. So
Sorry,
that
I
was
just said
probably a bit of
9/11 Bush is like is that like 70s Bush?
9/11 Bush.
Yeah,
That's a
9/11
very
Bush,
trap.
as opposed
know
to
what?
It's like 70s Bush
No.
with shrapnel in it.
Krish, that's a Bush you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Oh my. Anyway, but yes, I'm referring to 9/11 Bush and not like CIA
9/11.
Bush.
Not 70s Bush.
No, CIA Bush. Like not CIA Bush, but 9/11 Bush. Anyway, but like the day before 9/11 happened, Donald Rumsfeld went on national TV and said that somehow, some way, they can't figure out how, they lost 9 trillion with a trillion dollars, and they can't account for it. The next day, the towers went down, and part of the Pentagon that had paperwork that would have maybe has shed some light on this was part that got hit, and it was under construction. Funny how that works. And also, I've seen plane crashes. So where was the engine? Where was the tail end of this plane? Where were all the engine parts and the framework of this plane? Where was it? You can't tell me it evaporated. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Was it that building 7 that got hit by the shrapnel? The shrapnel that vaporized, went through a building, rematerialized, and then hit building 7?
No, there was 2 separate planes on that one. But it did seem to kind of disappear into that building. That is weird.
Because there's like a building in between, and like in order for the
and
terrain
building
correctly,
7,
that had to
building
go
7
through.
just collapsed for like no fucking reason. All it had was some windows busted out, and it collapsed.
The official isn't the official reason that building 7 collapsed is that shrapnel from the Twin Towers hit it, and in order for shrapnel from the Twin Towers to have hit it, they would have had to pass through another building. So it's the shrapnel that dematerialized, passed through a building, rematerialized, and hit
Damn
building
it.
7.
All right. Has this whole entire thing? Has this whole entire thing that? Wait. Sorry. Wait. This whole entire thing that turned into a 9/11 conspiracy stream because I really didn't want it to go down this route. No.
Sorry.
Oh, what the fuck do you want to talk about then? Chopping mall?
Not about 9/11 conspiracy. Not about 9/11 conspiracy.
Just because it's conspiracy doesn't mean it's not true. You'll never find the bodies. That sounds kind of scary.
Boa ha ha.
That's Nancy.
It's me.
Oh!
Yeah.
I didn't quite make it. I was like, what? Oh, my back hurts. Oh.
Well, stop sitting like that for hours and it won't hurt, honey.
Right? Yeah, but this is not a good angle. This down looking up angle is never good for anybody. It doesn't matter how good their bone structure is. It's never good.
Get naked and lay in bed. Damn.
I don't sleep naked.
Jeez. Get comfortable. You don't always have to be like on camera, do you? I get comfortable. Fuck that shit, man.
No, after Tubin's like whack off conference call, I don't want to risk being naked in front of the camera. Thank you.
That's what I said. You put an avatar up.
You put a little something over the camera, and there you go. You're done.
I got tape over one of my cameras.
Anyways, what I was going to say real fast. There you go. Oh, isn't that nice?
Saint Olga of Kiev was like John Wick with tits.
Hey, well, I identified with the Norse god Sin, so yeah, I'm all good with that.
They killed her husband and then tried to force her to marry the person that killed her husband, and she went John Wick on these motherfuckers.
Whatever.
I was like, ooh, I like her.
But it was really, it's really pretty ironic. Just in the hospital.
Nancy, I'm gonna end this at 3 hours. So. Okay.
Everyone. It's 2:52.49, 50, 51.
Well, I'm gonna wind it down at 3 hours. So.
I was tested once for fucking COVID while I was in the hospital for 5 days in a coma.
Yikes.
Why?
What?
Why wasn't I tested for COVID when I was just in the hospital?
I don't know. When I've only gone to the hospital a couple of times, but none of my symptoms were that they would expect of COVID, because one was like a nerve pain behind my ear, and
I had a friggin' infection that put me in a coma. And then
yeah,
for 5 days.
They should have run tests, because sometimes if a virus can get past the blood-brain barrier, it can cause damage, including coma, seizures, and such.
Right. Plus, I'm a diabetic. Plus, I have I refuse to accept it. That's why I'm getting healthier, because I refuse to accept their bullshit.
Right.
Anyways, that was my point that I was trying to make. And my nurse would come in, and being in and out of the hospital since 2016 with this stupid kidney crap, because they put me on antibiotics that I was allergic to. Anyways, long story short, I'm like, what are you doing with that swab? I said, what is that, Neosporin or is it Vaseline tonight? She goes, shh, it's the medication that keeps you safe from the virus, don't you know? And I said, yeah, fucking whatever, Linda. Seriously, because it's mind over matter. If you sit there and say, oh my God, I'm so sick. Oh my God, I've been diagnosed with cancer and I'm dying. What are you going to do? You're going to fucking die.
There's even a term called worrying yourself sick or worrying yourself to death. It doesn't fuck you up.
This too soon shall pass.
Exactly, my friend Chris.
Thank you, Grasshopper.
Well, what if you worry yourself sick to death?
One can lead to the other.
You can. It's called stress.
It weakens your immune system.
It's vibrations. If you're have you ever noticed your day goes like so good, like when you wake up and you're just like, yeah, you know,
And then the next day you feel like you woke up and got dropped out of an airplane. Yeah.
Right, but every second is a second to turn that down and say, no, I refuse to give in to that. And I choose joy today, or I choose to focus on, you know, like, because I found myself in that situation and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to start thinking of every single thing that's positive. You know what? I got out of bed and I didn't have to crawl to the toilet. Positive. Okay, there we go.
That is a definite positive, yes.
You know, or I got up today and I washed one dish. I didn't do shit the rest of the day. But I wasn't sitting there going, oh my God, my house is a mess and it's not clean. You know, my life's over. And then the house gets dirtier and dirtier. You know what I'm saying?
You could pat yourself on the back for that one dish you washed.
Exactly.
That's one step closer.
It's like a gold medal.
Well,
you give yourself a little glow star on your little board of happiness.
Really crippling depression, pulling yourself together to try to clean, sometimes it's difficult. So even if you got one dish done, you got one step closer.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I get that. I do. I get that.
Baby steps.
Like, I know it sounds silly, but like I feel that at the same time. Like I'm like, yeah, I connect with that.
Somebody once said, it's like sitting in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth, going, oh my God, I wish my house was clean. Oh my God, I wish I had money. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
I wish you're rocking and you're not going anywhere. Right. You're rocking back and forth, but you're not going anywhere. It's that instead of saying, I wish, you know, you do a little something about it.
You got to take baby steps towards victory.
Sometimes it doesn't work out well.
Yes. Yes, stop looking at yourself as a victim and look at the victory that you've come from. Stop looking how far the spiral staircase you have to go. Look down and see how far you've come.
Ooh, I like that.
Just a little words of wisdom from an old lady.
Old is relative.
I'm proud that I survived this long. Are you fucking kidding me?
Old. I said old is relative. I remember being 14 and thinking that like 35 was like old. Or like I was thinking like, oh, old people like hooking up, that's kind of gross. Like once I hit 30, I'm never having sex again because that's gross. You know what I'm saying?
Girlfriend, you ain't even 40 yet. You haven't even hit your peak. You don't even know what you're in store for.
Right. And so like of course when I hit 30, I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I don't feel as gross as I thought I would. Like, oh, son of a gun. So, yeah, sometimes age, like what's considered old is perspective.
Exactly. Well, they always say when you get clean, you resort to the age that you were when you first started using. So when I got
So,
clean off of
yeah,
everything, when I got clean off of everything, that meant that I was 13. So I was, and I'm still only like 16.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, so when you stop, you're supposed to be the age you were when you started and then grow from there?
You revert back to that time frame, like before
Okay.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Like,
I'm gonna have to math this out. Hold on. All right, so I quit doing drugs in 2008. I dropped them, and
right,
I was 18 when I started, and I'm 39 now.
right.
So
When did you start using?
I was 18.
So you
So,
revert back to 18.
Around 99 or 2000, the year.
So you revert back to that mentality.
I feel like my mentality is a little better than it was.
Well, because you also aren't back when you stopped. You've how many years are you sober now?
Oh, I don't, like I said, January of 2008, I stopped drugs.
So we don't do
Nancy.
math. Boys, somebody do math real fast for us because
Nan-
us girls don't do math.
Nancy,
That's
when you say drugs, Nancy, do you mean something even just
We don't
like
call weed drugs. That
Yeah,
well, I
okay.
mean,
All right. Okay.
okay.
when
Well,
you put it to you this way: when you became an addict, when you became
right.
an addict to
Or
where
user.
you did whatever it was, like me, I'm the whatevers, and I mixed my own shit up.
Damn.
Okay, so I would do whatever to get out of my head, out of my reality, because what I was going through at the time when I started using was so mentally fucked up
Right.
that I wanted to escape.
Right.
Okay,
How old were
but I
you?
became addicted to the escape. I became addicted to the escape because I did not like the reality that I had to face.
Yeah.
So
You
when
you
are
say,
able to cope.
Nancy, you say
right,
13. You say 13 is when you
and
started
I'm
messing around with
58, and I stopped everything and got completely off of everything 4 years ago. So
Good job.
58,
Good job.
7. Yeah, but I smoke weed and I still drink and everything like that.
Well,
But
I mean, they classify caffeine as a drug. Anything that alters the
yeah,
mind.
I don't care about that shit. The
Well,
only
you
shit
know,
I got really
Like, when
nicotine
people
is
say
a
weed's not a drug, I'm
that
talking about hard
yeah,
drugs, not natural shit.
right. But the point was when I couldn't do anything without a fucking pain pill, because it was so absorbed in my body and it was so psychological in my head that I physically could not do anything, and I went through so many withdrawals and all blah 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 blah.
Oh, girl, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's all good.
It's
all
weird.
good.
I feel like I unfairly got off lucky. Because
I'm glad I went through what I went through,
well,
because if I didn't go through,
Hello, Jennifer.
I didn't go through withdrawals though. That's what's
301 /
huh?
It's 301.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, no, well, Jedi Bill said hello.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
probably
hey,
mad at me.
Jedi Bill.
He's like, "Hello, is this thing on?" Yes, bro.
Are you guys
Yeah,
still
it's on.
arguing over there? Because I
It's
had to
on.
leave. I could
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
tolerate
go lay down.
arguing over there at all.
Wait, who's arguing where? What happened?
Over
I think the way we passionately talk about stuff, it probably sounds like we're arguing and we're not.
no, not here. Over. Never mind.
Oh, wait, is he saying here we're arguing?
No, I
didn't
was
think.
asking Bill, are you still arguing over there?
Oh.
I couldn't tolerate it anymore with the arguing over
What
there.
are we arguing about?
No,
Never mind. That's like hearsay, rumor, bullshit, and I don't start drama.
That's fair. Fair enough. Fair enough.
This been a peace summit right here. It's been a
peace summit.
a nice chill conversation, which is the type of
I was
shit
raised
that
by
I would-
Italian, so I'm just loud. Sorry.
the type
I'm
of shit I
Irish,
would look
and
for.
so we're occasionally pushy and hold grudges. So yeah.
Oh, I never hold a grudge. I don't got time for that bullshit.
I got the Irish Alzheimer's, baby. I forget everything but the grudge. Ha!
But,
That's a joke I got from my mother. I always did fancy that little bit of humor. Kind of, I mean, to be honest, I mean, that's what's wrong with the world. We can't laugh at ourselves a little and make fun of ourselves a little. Like,
Oh, I crap out of my own self.
well, yeah, no, I'm saying in general, not you, of course. I'm not saying people on here, but like,
No, I'm just saying. Like,
all
yeah.
about nationalities, and I'm like, as long as you're not actually going in it with a meanness, like if I'll joke. I mean, I'm not a
Or
drinker.
as long as you're not burning crosses on their front lawns and trying to flush
Right.
them from your
As long as you're not
neighborhoods,
actually trying to be
like,
hateful.
But I gave that up for Lent.
Oh my sweet Lord, she goes like for Lent. Oh my God.
Okay. I think you're
I
gonna
feel
get me
guilty
fucking
that I
banned for
laughed.
that one. I think I'm
Sorry.
getting banned for that one. I think you just.
It was nice while it lasted, Sasha.
All right, I'm gonna say 3 Hail Marys.
No. Seriously, I apologize. That was really uncalled for.
You just
It was,
confessed to
and I'm
being.
just like, oh my God, like I feel inappropriate for laughing.
You
but-
just
No,
confessed to
see,
being.
that's the kind of bullshit I'm trying to work on. It's like no
Right.
filter. I've never had a filter, and that was like really uncalled for.
Honestly,
So I have to immediately apologize
But
for
if
that
you're
because
But they're not having the
KKK
filters.
member, if you're the daughter of a KKK member, you don't have to say it. It's okay. It's fine.
oh my God.
You're not responsible for any ancestors.
no,
Okay,
I'm sorry. I was
I'm gonna hop off now.
hey, I mean, I just found out that my father is like one of the armors of the Armor hot dog. Friggin'
All right,
companies. Okay, of all the people, I wanted to be an Oscar Mayer Wiener. Okay.
well, all right, a lot better than finding out if he was a KKK member.
That would be so
All
fair.
I'm
I
saying.
mean, I would
But
lie.
he was a heroin runner, and I was a
Jesus
heroin
Christ.
baby.
Hi,
Seriously.
Captain Track.
Oh, Captain Trent, what's up?
Why did
Look,
everybody
everybody's
come here? We're about to wrap shit up. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's always the way when you're just coming to the end and everybody jumps in. It's like,
You silly
Well,
fuckers
all right,
had 3 hours where y'all could have done this.
Well, I
Hello.
was also.
Oh, it's strawberry. It's strawberry cheesecake.
Oh, sweet Jesus, I hate you right now. The fat bitch in me is wanting that right now so bad.
I also started about 10 to 15 minutes late, and I guess I'm gonna wrap this up now. Okay, fuck this.
Yeah.
All right.
Three people left watching. Thank you.
Mwah.
Captain Trek, Jedi Bill, everyone who come through the chat. Random Brad, Wookie, Nancy, you came through the chat. Nancy, you came through the chat a few times. Thank you. Nancy, always great talking to you, by the way.
Oh, you're a doll. I adore you.
You're a cool person to talk to. Sentinel. Moira, of course. Moira was in the chat too, but she's here.
Purr.
Tommy, of course.
Oh,
Tommy?
of course.
Much love to Tommy.
Yes,
shout out
lots
to
of
Tommy.
love to Tommy.
Because Tommy's the man.
Oh, Captain Trek, we're not trying to be mean.
What does he mean?
We're just razzing y'all a little bit.
What is he talking about?
He goes, okay. He's like, okay, sorry, I will leave. And I'm like, dude, I was just giving you a little shit. I don't want you to leave like that.
Oh, I don't either.
I think I don't know what it is about me, but there's something about me that like I think Captain Trek thinks I don't like him, and I have no ill will toward him.
It's in your head.
I'm trying to tell. Damn it, Nancy! I'm trying to tell. Mute her. I'm trying to tell this poor man that he has nothing to worry about. That I have no ill will toward him at all, and she's like singing, and I'm like, I'm trying to comfort somebody.
Captain Truck, I always put the link in the chat if anyone wants to come through. And
yeah, I was just razzing you. I wasn't.
If I see certain names, I won't let them through anymore. But
right.
If I see the name Captain Trek, next time I do a
someone's
stream,
familiar. Never open a door to a stranger. Sometimes it's sometimes not good.
Yeah.
Good God, that John guy. I gotta talk about that guy again. Fuck that guy. Anyway,
John.
Was it Big John? Was he? He was
he
he was definitely Sloppy John.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, sloppy John. Gotcha.
The big Sloppy John.
the guy who needs to go to Betty Ford Clinic.
The guy that needs to like go to AA.
Yeah, well, Betty Ford Clinic is a drug and alcohol rehabilitation clinic.
Okay,
And
I
that's
thought that was
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry. That's not a like necessarily a world known necessarily name. I'm sorry.
Well,
I know
I'm
of the Betty
sorry.
Ford Clinic, but I
It
didn't
was
know
my
that it was
American ignorance to assume that something we have here everybody knows about. I guess. Sorry.
I'm sorry to say about that guy, but he needs to find the part of his brain
That boy
he
needs
to find
Jesus
the part.
and AA so bad. Like I'm
He
really
needs to-
concerned for his health.
He should
Like
find the part of
I
his
told him at one
brain.
time, and I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even hazard a guess of how many things were in his system. I'm
Yeah.
like heavily concerned for that man's safety and the safety
But,
of anything around him. I'm not trying to be
and
a
the
prick.
safety of anyone that he's going to work with when he's like that, and he's going to work in like 2 or 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to be a prick when I say that. I am legit concerned for him, his safety, you know.
he disappeared too. I haven't seen him since.
Oh,
And
I mean, he might have gone to jail. Who knows? Like, I mean, or something. Or a
Face
hospital.
down in a ditch.
Oh God, that's a terrible thought.
oh man.
That's a terrible way for life to end.
But all right. God damn it! At 3:09, I was supposed to close this like fucking 3:10. Whatever. I mean 3 o'clock. Krish.
You know,
Yeah.
we're just so awesome. You can't leave us, Slasher.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
okay, maybe me, but not them. I
Two-
guess. I mean,
two
I don't
peop-
know. That maybe that sounded too presumptuous on my part. I'm
The
sorry.
two people watching. Oh wait, should I keep running? I'll keep running. I don't give a shit.
Well, I'm gonna go lay down. Like, I might talk some fluff in the chat or something, but like, I'm not.
I just need rolling papers. Nah,
That's fair. That's fair. Actually,
no,
my room.
it's 3:38. Nah, it's 3:38. I should know. I should know better. Yeah,
But will you do better?
yeah, I
I
will.
feel bad. Captain Trek hasn't said anything else. I'm gonna have to go over that channel and like tell him I was just razzing him. I feel bad because actually he wrote me. And I'm not gonna like, go into a whole bunch of detail, but apparently I guess maybe I was saying something or he was saying something, and I think some miscommunication must have happened months ago. And like last month he wrote me and was checking to see if we were cool, and I was like, yeah, why would we not? And he's like, something happened a while back, and so it's probably like a miscommunication, or he said something, but I was responding to someone else. It's quite possible, and he thought that I hated him, and I was like, what are you talking about? No, I can't recall anything you've done that would upset me. How long have you been holding this in? And he's like, a few months. I was afraid to say something, and I was like, oh my God, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you didn't think you could come talk to me about this. Dude, no, I'm not.
That's why it's good to talk to people as opposed to text people.
Well, yeah, and like I feel bad that he held that in so long, thinking I hated him, and I'm like, no, what? No, not at all. I
I
can't
like
think.
Captain Trek the
honestly
few
can't
times I
think of
talked to
anything.
him. I liked him the few times I talked to him. It's not like I
Right?
talked to him a million times.
Yeah, he's always been nice. I cannot recall at any point where he ever had a cross tone with me at all. So I felt really bad, and I'm wondering how many people are out there think that I don't like them, or maybe a misunderstanding happened, and they just don't know how to, or don't know how to approach and ask.
But
Like I'm here, like, good Lord, I feel bad about that.
Captain Trek, I always put the link in the chat, so it's
Yeah.
always open forum as long as people ain't gonna be screaming assholes trying to act like Howard Stern characters.
I think, all right, what I've been trying to do lately is like kind of talk to people I haven't talked to in a really long time, or like have like commented and had like a little bit of a hello on Twitter, but never actually like messaged them privately. And I've been trying to do that a little more with people that I've not spoken to privately, and ask them like, how your day going? I'm basically trying to learn how to be human. I know that sounds really strange, but like I'm trying to learn how to kind of reach out and open lines of communication with people. And I guess maybe if I had done that with Captain Trek, like this could have been cleared up so long ago. But I had no idea that that was some misunderstanding had transpired. So
Well,
I felt really bad about that.
I always put the stream out in the chat, and like I said, if people ain't gonna be dicks, try to turn it into Jerry Springer. It's all good, Captain Trek. It's all good. So, okay, now. All right. What did I say? I said 3 hours, and now I'm at 3:13, going into 3:14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krish.
Yep.
So you wanted me to show this, right?
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So upcoming show that I'm going to be doing with Sasha is going to be called "We Drink and We Know Things," and the motto for the show is going to be "Bibo Ergo Sum," which I'm pretty sure translates into something like "I imbibe, therefore I am," or "I drink, therefore I am." And if we have a look on the thing here, we have the hoodie with the little coat of arms that says, the Bibo Ergo Sum. And then on the back of it, you have the drunk man falling down. You can get it on the hoodie, sticker, mug. It'll load in a second, I hope.
Man, you better be careful of that yellow triangle. Someone's gonna think you're copyrighting them.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with him, and it's
I know.
a
That's the thing. That's the first thing. Like, oh,
only because of
headline.
I only really thought of it because of recent conversation in the stream. But yeah, I kind of put it on there because I just like the idea of the
Caution. It should say caution.
caution, you're drunk. But yeah, and then we've got.
But he's probably gonna think it's like merch about him, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, this is gonna be an awkward situation to watch.
Well, then he can go and talk to.
Yeah,
he can go and talk
who invented road
to
signs.
Pixabay. He can go talk to Pixabay because Pixabay are the one who put it up as a royalty-free image, so he can go and talk to them.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's the thing, and I just see if we've got time to run.
But like, I think I made that
music
on another
intro.
stream that since I don't drink alcohol, I was like, I drink stuff and I know things. And so when you said that, I was like, what the fuck?
Was I drink and I know things? So it's like, the idea being that we were going to sit around and have a drink and chat and just have a chat. But then, like, some people don't drink and they prefer to imbibe other things.
And so just drink
can
stuff,
imbibe other things.
like drinking beer or whatever. Because I drink coffee and like watered down juice. That is my drinking consumption.
Well, there is the implication of drinking beer in the intro.
Well, yeah, because that gets more attention in a way. So
yeah,
that it does. So I get that. I get that, but they're still free to drink whatever they want: coffee, water. Yeah.
What's the other one? Hang on, one more there.
And besides, a bar looks more entertaining than a juice bar. So I get it. Exactly.
But then I'm not saying that if you come on the show, you have to get shit-faced drunk.
Yeah.
It's just preferred that you get shit-faced drunk.
This channel does not encourage excessive drinking or anything that is bad for your own health. You are free to drink coffee and water to participate. Is totally fine.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's I don't think I've set an actual date for that, but that'll be a regular show that we'll be doing.
That sounds cute, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
was it this Thursday night is the panel games up late. We're going to be running a bit later than usual, and that's just like we get like a hashtag, and then you've got to have a funny pun to go with the hashtag, and a silly new meaning for an old word. It often gets very blue or very dark very quickly.
Well, okay. It sounds interesting. I like the pictures you've made up for it. It looks cute.
Yeah, I was having some fun.
For some reason, it's one of those things you don't realize how much you like it until you see it. But I am such a fan of seeing those nice oak barrels.
Yes.
I'm just such a fan of how they look, and I don't ever think about it like a Jim Beam commercial, and I'm like, fuck, these barrels look pretty.
I like those things too. I actually dig those things.
Yeah, so I really dig that and the font on it. I really like it. Like if they had a way to do that little bit of shadowing to make it look like
Yeah.
it's on. That would be so.
It can be
cool.
done. I'm just like it'd take me a little bit longer to do it, and
That's fair.
I
Fair enough.
I get frustrated with it quickly, so I put it in a.
I get that way
easy.
too. But yeah, I like. But I know. But I think I know what you were going for, the kind of branded look, and I liked it.
Yeah,
I
stenciled
absolutely
look.
dig that look.
On
Hey, Story Man, how are you?
Storyman Jack coming. Well, I'm
Woohoo!
trying
Hey,
to.
Story Man.
This is the stream that will not end.
The stream that never ends. All right, well, I will do my share to end it. Let's say
I love doing this one.
the font is fucking up. Like the T. Oh, okay, I see what it is.
It was with TWTD content, the
It's just
channel.
so hard. That particular font is so hard to read.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
like-
not that
it's like-
important. It's the Let's Play that's important.
Well, kind of, because it's your name. It's
You did like
it's
old-
advertising you, and it helps you.
old-
Yeah, but this is the thumbnail for the actual episode, so you're already on the
Oh,
channel. if you see
okay.
it. Yeah.
But it's cute. I sometimes like those vintage pictures and the weird
Yeah.
captions and stuff. I dig that.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that it looks like this, but it looks like the Matrix in the background.
Yeah, because it's when I use it for when I do the Let's Play for computer games. So I thought there's like the font and the kids at the front and the father and all that. That's retro game and they're gaming. And then at the back, it's got the digital thing going for the
But what's
game. For the
interesting
digital
is your binary code is very strange because it's supposed to be zeros and ones, and twos are supposed to be extremely rare, where you have a fair amount of twos and ones in your binary.
and eights and fours and
I did not
nines,
see that part. I did not
sevens.
see it.
But
That's
then
kind of puzzling.
the art, the way they've done the fence or the thing across the middle of the ping pong table, they've done it with like this black with these lines that looks almost like computer circuitry or something. So if you look closely at it, then it's got like another layer.
What is
Someone mentioned F&T to me yesterday, and I
FNT?
can't remember what the hell they said that stood for.
Krish, do you know what FNT is?
FNT.
Oh, Friday Night Tights. That's it. I think it was Cultural Casino I was talking to. I think that's what that stands for.
Oh, okay.
It just took me a minute because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, that's fairly fresh in the memory. Give me a second. And I'm sitting here like, F&T. That sounds like me if I burnt myself. Like, oh, this F&T. God, my mouth. It burnt me. We have like a bank called Federal something.
Oh shit. Yeah, what the hell is it called? Oh man.
But the initials are F and B. And I'm like, I'm sure that's what they say every time they walk out of that shit bank. F and B. Yes, Friday Night Lights. I was right. Yay!
All right. Anything else, Krish?
No, I'm good. I'm spent. That's it.
Is Nancy still Nancy?
Is Nancy still Nancy? I'm sure Nancy is still
Is Nancy
Nancy.
still Nancy?
I'm here.
She's Nancy
Yeah,
with us.
still alive.
Nancy's still Nancy with us.
Oh shit! All right, man. I gotta take some Lasix, man. My leg.
Nancy, I'm gonna wrap it up. You want to say goodnight?
Say goodnight, Gracie. Man, nobody fucking remembers that shit.
Oh man, no. She just came back to yell, "I'm here," and then left.
God dang it!
All right.
And then falls asleep.
Okay, that's the sort of shit that happens when I stream. Okay, whatever.
Old biscuits.
I'll keep doing it. Moira,
Meow.
I want to say goodnight to everybody and let
Good night,
everyone know.
everybody.
Good night to everybody.
Hugs and kisses to everybody.
All right, everyone in the chat who's left, Storyman Jack, Captain Trek.
Meow.
Next time, come through.
Yeah, after I get off here, I'm probably gonna channel hop, and if I see him on, I will try to smooth things, let him know that I was just.
Jedi Bill, Wookie, Supremacy, Tommy, Who was here? This is the same thing I did 15 fucking minutes ago.
Yes, dear. Everybody.
Oh my
everybody
god, I'm a hamster on a fucking wheel.
Okay.
Right. Sentinel. All right, wait, stop. Sentinel, Parrot Head, Stony Wan, Darth Haster, who came through. Thank you. Nancy, you were in the chat. Moira was in the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Oh.
Good night.